Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to our second episode of Hunters of Calamity. Last week we ended with everybody kind of beating up some bandits and getting their hands on a jeep. And this week we're going to see what they do with the jeep. Before we jump into all of the badassery and killing things, some quick things to go over for how you can interact as viewers. So you may notice this chart underneath my face. There's a lot of different things that you can do there. For every 5 interactions we get on our game tweet, which you can find there. Thanks for that host, Sildari. So for every 5 tweets we get on that tweet, or that's replies, retweets, likes, comments, anything like that, it generates a D4 for the cast and for me as the game master. And then there's a lot of other things that you can do there. A lot of those are pretty self-explanatory, but some of them that might not be. A switch allows either the cast or myself, whoever's using it, to switch the action word of whoever is currently doing something. So for example, if someone is trying to, let's say somebody was playing a bard in a game and they tried to seduce the barmaid, the GM could call out switch, use their switch, and they have to change the word seduce to something that is not a synonym. So pretty cool with that one. Borrowed success, they automatically succeed at what they're trying to do, but based on rolls that the game master does, they may automatically fail in the future. So there's a little bit of a gamble in using that. The Duck Dale appearance is a character of mine that I've used in other things. A bit like Scooter from Borderlands, if you're familiar. Anyways, he's a fun one, and he usually makes things very interesting. So if you do want to see that character appear, that is something that you can do as well. And finally, you don't have to spend cash to do that. There's some things that you can do with guild coins, which you'll find right underneath the chat bar in Twitch. You get those just from watching, interacting with the stream, going on raids with us, things like that. There's some cool stuff that you can do with those as well. Feel free to check that out. I think that is all of that out of the way. Quick reminder to the cast, you have 1 switch. I have a D4 and a D6. Those are all on the table for us to use. So feel free during the course of the game. With that, we'll do some introductions here. Let's start with Patrick. Tell us a little bit about your character Wesley and a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Oh, hi. I'm Patrick, or Attack Trick on the internet, or Pat, or Trick, or whatever is fine. I am playing Wesley today. He uses the spooky class in Monster of the Week. Backstory for him is he was an experiment to try and see what it was, whether you could successfully infuse magic-y things into people that didn't have magic-y things. And it kind of worked, so here I am. Besides here, you can catch me playing anywhere people will have me, including Tales from the Grim. I'm going to be appearing in their Legion viewer game of it's a Blades in the Dark set in the Watchmen universe, which I'm pretty sure we have a premiere date for, and I think it's next Wednesday now.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it.
That's very awesome.
Yes, please.
Perfect. And going around sort of in a circle here, we've got last of the order. Tell us a little bit about your character, Beth, and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm playing Beth. She's kind of the professional class. Her background, she was a mercenary, kind of like, probably would be most similar akin to Athena, a little bit more of a gruff person, but she's worked with a lot of different companies, and she is just sick of working for other people, wants to try to strike out on her own, and this is the adventure she chose for that. So we'll see how lucky she can get with that. As for me, what I do, I'm really big into the Borderlands community, so this was kind of a perfect fit. I'm a fan fiction writer, and sometimes I do art. I'm not sure if there's much more to say about myself, but yeah, I just really love this community and the creativity that it brings, and I'm so excited to be part of this.
Awesome. Next, we've got Gwen. Tell us a little bit about Paige and yourself.
Paige is kind of not sure of herself just yet. They have come here seeking friends. and mainly friends who don't reject them.
Mood. What?
Yeah, and is happy to help these rough and tumble people on their journey, as long as they'll be their friend.
Perfect. And hopefully Paige's luck changes this week. Instead of setting everything on fire like last week. Perfect.
Setting things on fire is perfectly fine.
What did I stumble into?
Oh, you have no
It's
idea.
just a little arson. It's fine. And then we can find you
little
at
fireball.
Gwen Tato on Twitch and Twitter, right? Perfect.
Yes.
And then last but not least, we've got Zan. Tell us a little bit about Merc and a little about yourself.
Yeah, so Merc is a monstrous playbook. He was stuck down in an iridium mine with some other miners for a little while, and things got a little desperate, and he found soon he had some kind of unsettling powers that he didn't have when he first went down that hole. Can't quite say the good things happened to the other folks, but he made it out all right. And since then, he's kind of gotten a little burned out with the daily grind, the 9 to 5, the struggle to survive. He's just here to have fun. He's I mean, we're all gonna get eaten by skags at the end, so might as well have a good time before we go. And and I'm Zan, and you can catch me on Twitter and all that good stuff at Insanity Insanity TTRPG, and Patreon Insanity Gaming and InsanityGaming.com, because I write cool tabletop supplements.
Awesome.
Very awesome. Oh yeah, and that's a quick reminder to everybody too. You can find all of us on Twitter at the names right underneath of our faces. So if you are curious about like, hey, how do I follow that person on Twitter? Right below our faces, that's our Twitter tags. So to give a quick recap of what happened last week, we had Wesley and Paige coming off a transport, running into Merc at Toxie's bar. Actually, I should give the full name. It's Toxie's Hookah Bar, Pub, and Motel.
Almost as bad as Foxy's.
Yes. And Toxie, for those who weren't here last week, is a really big buff dude with like a muscle shirt on. And the whole sort of slogan for the entire business is the double finger guns with a snap. Yep, exactly. So everybody shared a hookah and then decided to go have some fun outside of town, where they immediately ran into bandits. Wesley went very badass on them, as did Merc, really. And they commandeered, I guess you could say. I was going to say stole, but commandeered is more like it, because it's not really stealing if they're all dead, right?
I mean,
Lightly borrowed.
Paige set things on fire. Lots of things.
Oh, yes.
Paige did her best.
Paige set a
That's what
newsstand on
Paige did.
fire. And
almost set Wesley on fire.
Yep, there was that too. There was a lot of fire. But they have a working, albeit dinged up and scratched up Jeep. And I think it's slightly singed. And I think that's where we're going to introduce Beth. I'm going to say that you were also just outside of town and witnessed this entire encounter. Before you kind of decide if you want to jump in and talk to these folks, I do have a quick question, though. Everybody got $150 last session to buy things. Is there anything that you wanted to buy for your character before you go off into the wastes? It's for you last.
Oh shoot! I have to choose if I'm buying something.
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea what I would even buy. This is something to ask me when I get more used to the gaming system. So we're just gonna go woefully unprepared. How about that?
Perfect. Once you get a little bit used to it, if you're at a point where you're like, hey, I think I would like to buy some stuff, just let me know and you'll find, I'm sure, a
Vendor.
bark vending machine
Yeah, sounds
out
good.
in the wilderness. All All right, so you just witnessed this encounter. You saw these three people just beat the ever-loving snot out of these bandits and take their jeep. What's your reaction to that?
Well, clearly these are people who can take care of themselves pretty well, which I happen to need after getting attacked by a couple of skags myself. Or is that copyrighted? I have no idea.
I don't know.
A
I'm
couple of
calling them Diredogs.
Diredogs myself. I know. Well, first of all, these are people to be reckoned with. Second of all, I'm not going to make it long on my own out here. I may have some skills, but that's not going to do well against a pack of bandits or Diredogs. So I may want to try to make some allies. It's not exactly my strong suit, but you know, we all make sacrifices here in the wasteland. If mine is having to be social, I can manage that. We'll see.
Perfect. Also, Gwen has very generously redeemed guild coins to get you a single-use fire shield.
Aww.
So Gwen, how would you say that this fire shield works?
So it's active until like a major fire damage happens.
Okay, so like it cancels out one fire attack, basically.
Yeah.
I'm
Perfect.
guessing this is something I should use against you if you accidentally set me on fire. That's what this is for. This is a, you know,
Probably.
This is
most likely going to set you on fire. Pre-forgiveness, pre-apology. I can dig it. I can appreciate that. All right.
Okay. So in that case, Merc, Wesley, and Paige, you've tipped this Jeep back over onto its wheels. It's working, and that's when you see Beth approaching. How do you react to Beth?
Howdy, neighbor.
Mm.
Okay.
How do you do?
There's a hawk screeching as this awkward silence fills the emptiness.
Howdy.
I don't usually set things on fire.
I saw the way you guys handled yourselves out there. You look a little bit less bloodthirsty than the rest of the people in these wastelands. What's your story?
We do? After that?
A little bit less.
That's not great. It's
Slightly
not a great
You
less.
haven't
sign.
seen the wastelands like I have.
Man, that's a low bar.
Really, it really is.
My story is I'm here to make friends.
No, you're gonna find an interesting time trying to manage to do that here. I'm not normally in the business of making friends, but seeing as you guys can handle yourself, I know I can handle myself. I wouldn't mind having some companions.
Oh, Raven,
Yes.
is Beth who... Did I see her in my vision as well last week?
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Beth is the other person that you saw.
Oh, shenanigans I am not aware of. All right.
Yes.
I saw you in my head. I see things that haven't happened yet sometimes.
Okay, I am holding on. You know, a lot of psychos see that too. You start first by seeing visions, and then you start screaming about bicycles made of meat.
Haven't gotten there yet, so that's
All right, I'd keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I think it's a Iridium thing.
Quick reminder to Paige, you do still have that map that you purchased,
Yes.
which
yes, I do have
might
that.
indicate where it would be a good spot to look for the vault.
Yes, I do have this, and pulls out the map. So if we go here,
Whoa.
and then here, and then here, and then
Hold up. Did you guys find yourselves a vault map?
we found ourselves a map.
I don't know. This
Put
is the first
quotations
I've seen
around the
that.
map.
yeah, it's by a local, so I trust it.
So for the benefit of Paige Beth and Merc, what you're seeing here is a very clearly hand-drawn map. There's nothing that says like vault here or anything like that. It's pretty
Okay,
much just
okay.
a map of the area. It's a bit crude. It's hand-drawn, but it does appear to be decently accurate. There's little things like Diredogs here, danger. Up in the mountains, it says burr, cold, wear fur. Little things like that. Helpful notes, but nothing that's like, X marks the spot or anything like that.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, all of you are redeeming NPC names. Okay.
Where did you get this map?
Frog, toad, and snail. Okay.
God, I don't know what he did around here. He works in the town. I think he drew it himself, and he had extras. We didn't look to see if they were all the same.
I don't think it matters.
I mean, if it gives you a better chance of surviving the waste, then, more
Yeah.
power to you.
I mean, if we're looking for a vault, he marked a bunch of areas on here that were more dangerous and had less people in them. My money would be on one of those.
Yeah.
The closest one to you on this map is a spot that says Diredogs, caution. It's sort of there's a mountain there on the map you can see, and it looks like the mountain kind of curves. So there's almost like this little tiny valley that goes into the mountain just a little bit, and you see little. They look like turd piles on the map, but as best you can figure, that was the guy trying to draw like little caves.
So it looks like he illustrated turd piles, not that there's like shit on the map.
Yes, they were drawn. They look like turd piles, but you're able to guess that that's not what he meant. He actually meant to draw caves.
I'd say dung pile number 2 looks very inviting.
We travel through these shit caves here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure. And Merc is going to pull out some of the whatever substance he got from the vending machine before he left town, and just, this is above my pay grade.
Oh yeah, the canned whiskey or the canned cigarettes?
The canned cigarettes. And just,
okay.
I mean, I would love to travel with you guys if you would have me.
Yay, friends!
All right, that one is very energetic, aren't
Yes.
they? Isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What am I getting into?
So I
and
take it
I don't know.
I take it you all board the Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's driving?
Paige.
I don't think that's necessarily the best idea. No offense to your clearly very stable emotional state, and clearly you probably have a valid driver's license, but I'm not sure it would necessarily work here in the wastelands. I at least have a license to kill, so maybe I should drive because of that.
Okay. If you insist.
I think she insists.
Passenger seat.
All right.
They actually fill those licenses to kill. It feels like a lot of extra paperwork.
You'd be surprised how much of mercenary work really is just doing the paperwork behind the scenes. You have more likely a chance to die from a paper cut than from an actual fatal wound.
That
That sounds
horrible.
awful.
Why do you think I came here?
Yes. Let's not murder people, but murder Diredogs.
Bandits aren't people.
Yeah. I mean, they seem not quite like people.
So if
I mean,
everyone's
we
agreed,
tried to be diplomatic, sort of.
To be fair, you did. I think you said something, like "hi neighbor" before you punched his jaw. It
The
was
best
like
way.
a couple seconds before, but
I mean, it's not my fault that their reaction time isn't up to snuff.
Best form of diplomacy is on the other end of the gun.
perfect. Well then, if no one's opposed to Beth driving, let me have you roll. I'm gonna go with Sharp for this one. So you just roll
And it's a
2d6.
D6.
2d6. 1 through 6 is a
Alright.
fail.
Oh,
7
did
through
it
9
roll?
is a.
It did.
Yeah. What's
And
your
it was
sharp?
a fail.
It's
I
plus
am
sharp.
so sorry. A license to kill does not necessarily
It's-
equate to driving skills.
As much
Who
as
thought this was a good
plus
idea?
two, so it would still be a fail.
So you fail. So go ahead and mark an experience on your character sheet. So you're
Okay.
1/5 of the way to your next level.
All right.
And what happens is, well, I'm gonna check and see how bad it is.
Can I roll to help out? Like, what's your sharp?
My sharp is 1.
1,
Okay,
so that would be a
that was
5.
That was
And
really
help
bad.
Help out is as much as plus 2, so I can make it a partial success.
If it's +2, that only makes it a 6, which is still a fail.
No, that would be a 7. 5 plus 7 plus.
It's a
Because-
4.
Rolled a 4.
But
Yeah,
so
your
you
sharp,
add your
sharp is
to that.
1.
Oh, I add
So
my.
it would
Okay.
be 5.
Told you. You
Oh,
guys
I
may
see.
have to do some hand holding with this.
You're good.
Okay.
Help out is
All good. All good.
on a 7 to 9, it's plus 1. On a 12 plus.
So hope for a 12.
Yeah.
Hope
Does
for
help out have a
uh,
chance of making this worse too?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Oh no.
Well, let's do it. In for the penny, in
Yeah.
for the pound, right, guys?
So get a 10 plus, a 10 or higher, Gwen, and I'll give you
Yeah.
the +2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it's plus cool, which is very interesting. Since I have 0 and cool.
Cool.
So that is a 7. Not
Awesome!
quite high enough.
Fantastic.
So-
Well, the good
so-
news is
so
you
that's
don't make it worse.
That's a plus 1.
The good news is you don't make it worse, but it doesn't succeed. So it doesn't really make it better either. So Beth, you just don't know your own
On a 7 to
strength.
9, your help grants them a plus 1 to their roll, but you expose yourself to trouble or danger.
Yes, which you're about to find out what that is.
Normally, I
Uh,
drive an automatic. This was a manual.
Well, you just don't know your own strength. You grab the key. Rowan.
This goes straight for the key. All right.
Rowan used a sound effect that was very funny. So you grab the key, you try to put it in there, and you just don't know your own strength. You turn it, and the key breaks off in the ignition.
These are just garbage cars, okay?
I mean, it does look like a lot of these parts are scrap.
It's
Like,
literally
did they just
rolling
cobble this
garbage.
together?
It's literally
Yeah.
rolling garbage.
So yeah, the key breaks off. You could try to
I've built
hotwire it.
Several of these.
Let's see. What do I have skills in?
Yeah, I can try.
No, I think hotwire is a metaphor.
Yeah, I was about to
I don't
say.
actually think we need to add any heat to this.
No
I
fire,
know
no
what
fire.
hot wire means.
I'm just gonna comment on the fact that like you guys trusted the person you just met to drive the car for you guys. Of course, something like this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, Beth
that's
seems
true.
very professional.
Yeah.
So
Always.
hot wiring would be plus sharp.
Yes. Go ahead and.
Yeah, that's no
Hey,
matter.
all right.
Yeah,
Rowan,
roll
there's a
20
1-minute
is-
cooldown.
Yeah, I'm going to
Um,
definitely just do roll 20 from now on because my dice hate me.
Okay,
still
so it's
cursed.
opposite of last week. Okay.
No,
So with
last
11,
week
you
it was
are-
this week too. Way too.
You are able
So-
to yank the wires out from underneath the dash, find the correct 2, and tap them together, and the car springs to life. And by springs to life, I just mean that the engine turns on. It doesn't actually jerk forward or anything like that. You actually both, or all, remember to take it out of gear before trying to start it.
Mhm.
So you have a running, hot-wired, salvaged Jeep. You may also notice as you're inspecting, the dashboard and the dials and everything, the gas gauge is completely broken. And by that I mean the glass is shattered on it. You can't read how much gas is in this thing. But it's running.
Lovely.
And the headlights work.
I mean, if this is a
See,
traditional wasteland
I know how to
vehicle,
fix things.
if this is a traditional wasteland vehicle, then it probably just runs on blood and spit.
Hmm. I don't know about wasteland vehicles, but my vehicles run on recycled gas, usually.
I mean, there's some blood stains still on the seats. Do we need to wring them out?
In case we need extra fuel. Yes.
So you're all just sort of sitting in a Jeep that's running right outside of town.
Paige is
Let's
going
go,
to-
man.
Yeah, I'm
Let's go,
gonna
let's-
start driving, I guess. If everyone's okay with Beth still being in the driver's seat after that.
No, Paige is going to take over.
Okay. Probably for the
Okay.
best.
Paige, give me a sharp roll to see how well you drive this vehicle.
Oh no,
Awesome.
good glory.
Oh, that's
Worse than me. Actually, it was a better roll than what I had.
That was so perfect timing.
exactly the same roll. Exactly the same roll. 3 and 1 plus 1.
Oh my gosh.
Looking around at the vehicle, can I make any kind of determination to like what the least flammable seat in this thing would be?
It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, really.
Okay.
Can anyone
So-
roll to help out? Like
Rowan just
multiple
did the what you say sound effect right as you failed that. It was
Yeah.
perfect timing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Multiple
you
people can roll to help out. By the way,
Oh,
if you can make a narrative.
I do not
I'm
trust
gonna say that
myself
whoever's
rolling.
in the passenger seat directly next to Paige can help. Everyone else, backseat driving doesn't quite work that way.
I
So I'm gonna say one person.
Mhm.
Who took shotgun? I mean,
Did
who
Beth
literally
maybe
took
just
my
slide
shotgun?
over?
It's missing. Okay, yeah, that's what I was picturing. But I just wanted to
Mhm.
make sure I'm not stepping on toes. Everyone good if I'm the one doing
Go
this?
for it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Plus
roll.
cool.
Plus cool. All right. Is it just a 2d4 or 2d6?
2d6 plus cool.
Yeah,
Plus
pretty much
cool?
everything will be 2d6.
All right.
Oh,
I am
man.
fired.
So
Beth
you
is
make
no
it
longer
worse.
allowed to even touch a car anymore.
So the two of you trying to get this car to drive. Let's see how bad it is. Yeah, it's horrible.
Makes a sexist joke about women in driving. What?
You
yeah.
you try to put it in gear, Paige, and somehow in so doing, you don't push the clutch in, and so you break the clutch off in the engine. It throws a rod. The engine's making this horrible clanking and pinging noise, and there's lots of smoke coming from under the hood.
I think I
Okay.
broke it. So
I have a different idea. Is there any like rope or anything in the rope chains, anything like that in the car?
There was the one guy that had the really big chains wrapped around his fists. You still have that chain.
Okay, cool. I got an idea. Why don't you just hand me those and I'll pull this?
We could just. Fair enough. Sorry. If you think you can manage to pull a car.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't seen him, or have you seen him Hulk out?
I got an
I
idea.
only caught the tail end of that
Okay.
fight.
Give me a tough roll, Merc, to see how well you're able to pull.
I'm going to use my monstrous shapeshifter ability
Ooh.
to turn into a Diredog, a large, perhaps alpha Diredog,
Okay.
and
Aware dire dog.
Mush.
yeah, and just grab onto the chains and get going.
Okay. I will just give that to you then. And the car is basically permanently in neutral now, so there's no resistance from the engine as you haul this thing. Do give me a tough roll. I will have this be, no chance of failure. I just want to see how fast you can get with this.
Oh, what?
Why?
How did I get a 0? That seems
Three plus-
implausible.
No, it's a 6 plus whatever your tough is.
But it's a 6. My tough is 2.
Okay.
So that would be 7.
6
Yeah,
plus
you-
2 would be
you
8.
put
Oh,
two
0 to
pluses.
6. Okay.
You
Okay.
put 2 pluses instead of just 1.
Oh yeah, it's so in 2d6 plus 0. Okay, so
Oh.
it's supposed to be 6.
Huh.
Not sure how that happened.
6 plus 2, which would be
Weird.
7. Because
Either
you
way.
6 plus
Two.
2 is
So
8.
It's 8.
Oh,
it's,
8. Never mind. That's 8. Yeah.
We
it's
never
still
said we were good
7
at
to
math.
9.
We only said you rejoin your
Yeah.
stream.
numbers are hard. But you get a pretty decent pace. It's definitely faster than if everyone were just walking. It's not as fast as a normal car, but it's better than just walking. And you make your way over there. It takes you. How long does this monstrous effect last?
You know,
Or-
that is an absolutely amazing question. You may change your form, usually into an animal. Decide if you have one alternate form or several. Detail them. Gain +1 forward to investigate a mystery when using the form's alternate superior senses. That's all I
So
got.
it's permanent.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
yeah, you're basically a person.
Okay, so yeah, I'd say about 2 hours later, you manage to get up to the part of the road that overlooks the section that you were trying to get to, this little valley that's sort of scooped out of this mountain. And at that point, you can see there's lots of little rock piles stacked right up against the rock face of this mountain. Clearly, they are Diredog dens. But what you didn't expect to see is what could be generously called a house. It's sort of between you and that little scoop out of the mountain. There's smoke coming from what looks like a chimney made out of giant bean cans on the roof. And you can see a light inside.
We could. Clearly has something to say. We could.
Hey, there's a house right over there.
That was fast. The transformation.
Yeah, no, trust me, it doesn't feel fast. It's all wiggly. It's wood.
We could see if the house has any supplies to perhaps fix the car so our little dire dog friend here doesn't need to keep pulling us.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of work.
Okay.
Not into the work.
Now,
Yes,
since
we did note
since you're a
that.
little more familiar with the wasteland than us, is this a knock on the door and ask for supplies situation, or knock down the doors and ask for supplies situation?
I mean, politeness always goes a really long way in my book. You just gotta kind of, make some friends. I got some whiskey. I'm sure we can strike up a pleasant little banter.
I'd say always try to. Diplomacy may not be my strong suit, but I do admire the people who can use that first before coming with a bullet.
Beth will just go up to the door and knock. I mean, Paige. Sorry. Paige.
Don't tell me what to do. That's why I came to the wasteland. I don't want to
My
be told.
real mom.
My brain jerked because I'm going to fix that so I don't do it again.
No worries. All right, so Paige, you walk up to the door and knock.
And she's gone.
Yeah. I think the viewer count is borked as well, Rowan. So you go up to the door and knock. Give me a... I'm going to go with... sharp on this one.
Sharp?
Because it's going to test your reflexes.
Oh, it's that kind of welcome. Yeah. Ooh, that's not bad. It's an 8 total.
An 8 total?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. The hair on the back of your neck sort of stands up right as you finish knocking on the door, and you sense sudden danger and fall to your, basically like face plant on the porch. You just fall prone immediately, just in time to not be shot by the shotgun blast that goes through this very thin wooden door.
Oof, it's a shotgun blast. Yeah, let me roll plus cool to see if. Nope. So fire goes off.
Oh, you got startled.
Yeah.
Stuff gets lit on fire now when you're surprised.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paige did not have very much control of their powers.
Cool.
So, is this a particular feature of the Spellslinger?
No, it's more flavor of.
Okay. In that case, go ahead and roll whatever you need to roll to throw a fireball. Normally.
That would be plus weird.
Okay.
Now I'm going to trust roll 20. That's 12.
Oh, good.
So
you succeeded.
There's no complications or anything.
Unfortunately, this is the result of a complication. So, a low roll would have been preferable. Sort of. You get startled. You throw a fireball. The house is now on fire. There is yelling coming from inside the house. It's hard to understand. It sounds like maybe this person doesn't have teeth. And they are yelling, and they run out the back of the house. At this point, Paige, you're unable to see the person, but everyone else, you can see this person running out of the back of the house towards those Diredog caves. And the guy has got like, you could kind of call it overalls. It probably was overalls at one point, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like cut off jean shorts on the bottom so that they don't go all the way down to the ankles. And there's only one strap, which looks like it's been repaired several times. And they're holding a shotgun.
Sorry.
Howdy, neighbor. How do you like our housewarming party?
He yells something unintelligible back at you as he keeps running towards these caves. The house is still on fire. Do you chase after the guy? Do you try to put the house out? Do you sit and watch? What do you do?
Roast some marshmallows.
Yeah, you know, grab some popcorn.
Is there a window to this house?
There's some gaps in the sheets of scrap metal
Paige
that you
is
could
just
probably
like,
see through.
oh no, not again. I didn't mean to burn another house down.
Can I just peek and see if there's other people in the house or anything expensive looking?
I would be
Sure.
concerned over the fact that they're running off as well,
Yeah.
especially towards a skag den. Who knows if they're one of those dire dog dens? Who knows if they're one of the crazy people who raised them?
Is that a
and has
sharp
them
roll,
trained?
Raven?
I'm just gonna give you the observation. You look through the slats, the gaps in the wall, and you can see a crude table, like a dining room table, like a wood-burning stove, like a potbelly stove type thing, that has a pot with something on it that was cooking. Your best guess, given that a lot of the tubular parts of the house are made out of bean cans, that it's probably beans. And you also notice like some dog beds and a couple of collars and some leashes and what looks like a bandit leg that's been chewed on. It's still got a shoe on it. And that's what you notice. You don't notice anything of particular value.
I think you're on point with this guy raising those things.
Which means he's probably going to be directing them in our location any moment.
That's a safe assumption.
I'm going to make sure my weapons are ready.
Okay. What
We could
weapons do
try-
you have, by the way?
That's a really good question. I have no idea. Which ones did I grab? Okay, so I had For my more serious weapon, I had the sniper rifle. Then I had the revolver and a big knife. Since we're probably at a good distance, I'd say my character is probably gonna start by setting up that sniper rifle in a good position to see if skags start. Dire dogs. I'm sorry. It's gonna take me some time.
It's
I'm
fine.
gonna start trying to set those up and see if I can get in a good location and maybe pick a few off before having to switch to some of the close range weaponry.
Okay. Would you say that you set up by the Jeep or right there just outside the house?
I'm open to suggestions. I'd say probably something with a bit of height and good clearance. What would give me a bit of a better view of the skag or dire dog dens?
Up by the Jeep would.
Up by the Jeep. All right, then I'm gonna have Beth. Beth's gonna move over there. Lock and load, baby.
Okay.
With that gun pointed, ready for when something comes out.
And Paige is going to hide.
Okay. So Paige is hiding. Beth
Hey, is there music playing?
There is. It's on
Okay.
Roll20.
I'm like, why is there music? What tab do I have open?
It's real funny.
It's on Roll20.
All right.
Okay, so we've got Paige who's trying to hide. Where do you try to hide?
Behind the car.
Behind the car.
Behind
Okay.
me. Beth will protect you. It's fine.
Okay, no
Yes.
problem. You hide behind the
Please.
car. What's Merc doing?
He's he's unholstering his giant cleaver and just kind of standing out there, just shaking his head like, man, I was having a good day. Then this happened. And then there was fire. And I was having a good day too. All right. Here, doggy.
Awesome. And Wesley, what are you doing?
So all of my stuff is much more up close. So I'd like to, if there's any kind of like rocks or something to hide behind, like closer to the cave entrance that he ran into, I'd like to try and like hide off to the side and like wait for them to come back out, so that I could kind of pincer in behind them.
There's a couple of larger rocks that you could probably like crouch down behind. Let's see. Hiding is not sure which attribute that would be for hiding. I want to say cool, probably.
Sure. Seven.
7. Okay. Roll20 is not scrolling down. There we go. So with a 7, your head's still sticking up a little bit. If somebody looks closely, they'll still be able to notice that you're there. But you're mostly protected from things like shotgun blast. So you got partial cover. We'll call it that. About the time that you get set up there, and Beth, the time that you get your sniper rifle fully set up, you do see the strange dog keeper sort of whistle and wave his arms and flail in the air, and you see these dire dogs starting to crawl out of these little caves. And there's 3 of them that look a little bit bigger than the rest of them. And all of you can hear as this guy yells out about the only thing intelligible that you can understand of him. He goes, frog, toad, snail, sick 'em!
All right, time to fire.
These 3 larger dogs start running towards you. So I'm going to start with Beth. What do you do?
Okay. I'm gonna try to pop one of them, of course.
All right.
So she's gonna take back and fire.
Unless you have something specific for your playbook, I believe it's going to be tough to
Kick
the
some
action
ass,
of
I
kick
think.
some ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll do it with the tough. Yeah, I don't see anything else. So What should I roll? Just the 2d6 again?
Yeah, 2d6 plus tough.
Plus tough? Okay. So 6.
6 total.
Yeah. I'm
You go
not
to-
having good rolls tonight, okay?
Be sure you mark down experience for every fail, though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not even sure where to mark that. I'm like, so that should be the third failure, right?
So yeah, that would
Yeah,
be my
it
third
is
failure.
on your character sheet. Let me just pull that up real quick.
It's under harm and luck. It's on the very left side,
Luck and then harm. Okay.
and then experience.
Oh, I see. Okay, so is that my
There.
third failure?
Yes,
I believe so.
It's mine as well.
Rip.
I believe the femmes are failing.
So it's not too bad of a fail. You go to fire, and you realize that you forgot to chamber around, so it just goes click.
What? What? Okay.
You got a little overexcited. Next up is gonna be Wesley. You are at the extreme end of the range of your shotgun. You could potentially shoot one of these with that.
I'd like to try, I guess, and shoot whichever one is kind of trailing behind. Like if the other two are kind of bounding more forwards, I'd like to try and get whoever's in the back.
Sure. We'll say that the one trailing behind is on the left-hand side, which is the side you're closest to of the three.
Obviously,
and that's
Snail.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, it's Snail that's trailing behind. Frog and Toad are barreling ahead. Yeah, if you'd like to try to shoot
Loved those
Snail,
books growing up.
you absolutely can.
Sure. It's a 9.
All right, so yeah, that will succeed. What's the harm on your shotgun?
3 harm, close, messy.
Okay. With it being partial success and extreme range, we'll call that 2 harm. So it doesn't get hit with quite the full brunt of that buckshot, but you do some damage, and there's a very loud noise as the
Puppy.
Diredog is
It's gonna
injured.
eat your face.
Yeah, it's a very sad sound from something that's determined to eat you.
Oh, can I just say, with Borderlands 3, they added more like puppy like skikag noises.
Oh,
It
that's
is
not okay.
so hard to kill. As I'm like killing them, I'm like, and hearing this yelping, I'm like, no, don't do this to me. Sorry,
Oh, no.
Oh, that's
sidetrack.
terrible.
Oh no.
No worries.
Yeah, it's not in any of the other games. Just Borderlands 3. You get the horrible yelping.
Next.
Aww.
It's gonna be Merc.
Can I yell out to the
Oh,
guy? Sorry about the accident with your door. It's our car broke down and we need some assistance. So I
You
take
just-
cover.
Yells back. You can't understand anything he's saying, but he's clearly very angry, and maybe not quite sane. So yes, Merc, you're going to be next up. Frog and Toad are still a little distance away. They're within gun range. You could potentially try to charge ahead and try to meet them and attack with your weapon, your blade weapon.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Meet
Let's
them.
do that.
Meet them. That's great. Okay. Go ahead and roll tough. Unless you have a
And
specific
do.
attack that you're doing.
I do not. So that's 12.
Awesome.
You guys are so
Um,
much better at this than I am. Rolling dice, at least.
I
You succeed.
know. I feel that in my soul.
You succeed with flying colors. Would you like to describe how it is that you attack Toad with this cleaver?
Yeah, I think as he's running forward, and he comes to meet Toad head on. I think he stumbles just a little bit and has to quickly kind of catch himself on the sword. And as he does, Toad leaps and he just lifts the sword up a little bit and Toad's momentum carries him onto the sword.
Okay. How much harm does your sword do?
So since that was a 12, I can choose to inflict 1 extra harm, right?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. So its base harm is 3, so that'll make it 4.
4? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say that that pretty much kills Toad. He gets impaled, instant death. No longer a threat, and it's quick and relatively painless for the dog.
Aw.
That's good.
Not even a yelp.
No need to make it suffer.
No. Okay. Next is gonna be Paige. You're cowering behind the Jeep.
Paige is going to peek around the Jeep and fire a fire missile.
Okay.
The closest one.
That would be Frog.
It's going right by my head.
Hopefully it's good. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! You're right
so,
by me, Paige.
Yeah. On a failure, I get to pick three glitches and yeah, three. All the glitches but one. You pick the one to avoid. So I'm going to pick. It has a problematic side effect. You short duration. The effect is weakened, and the magic delivers immediate unwelcome attention.
Okay, we're gonna take these one at a time. What was the first one?
The first one is the effect is weakened, which means 1 harm instead of 2. The effect is of
Okay.
short duration, which means the fire goes out
Okay.
quickly.
Okay.
The magic delivers immediate unwanted attention. And
Oh
then
yeah,
it has
it's going to.
an unwanted side effect.
Awesome. I can take care of all of those things with one action. Your fire missile hits the gas tank on the Jeep, which is enough to break it. The short duration is of little consequence because you ignite the gas tank. It draws a whole lot of attention because it explodes.
And I am on the Jeep, aren't I?
You are.
Gosh dang it.
We get a tough roll from Beth.
Okay.
Actually,
yeah.
Beth has that personal shield.
I think the shrapnel is still gonna screw me over.
It's not so much the fire that this roll is for. I'll explain in a moment.
Okay. Is it possible to do this roll as a cool just a cool instead to see if I could do like a cool, neat landing or whatever?
Sure. You're being a professional. You've been in the field of battle. You're level-headed. I'll let you do cool instead.
All right. Let's pray this. Oh yes. Okay.
That's
so
a 10
it rolled
total.
an 8 plus 2 for cool
Okay, so 10.
gives me a 10.
Awesome. So, out of the corner of your eye, as you're trying to chamber around into your sniper rifle, you notice Paige getting ready to set off some fire. And given what you've seen so far, you're like, maybe I should, prepare. And sure enough, you see the fire go the wrong direction, and because you are cool and level-headed, you leap off of the Jeep just as it's lurching forward. Like the back of it is flying up in the air, sending it end over end, crashing down the road. And you land however you like to.
Sorry!
Yeah, you hear sorry right as you land however you want to land. You can describe how you land.
Totally with like a tuck and roll, and then getting back on my feet, dusting myself off, like, what was the point of getting in the car in the first place?
Okay.
Not only does it not work, but it had to be dragged through the desert, and now it explodes. Right, that's more of an out-of-character comment than an in-character one, but, dusting
I
yourself
hate
off.
to be that guy, man, but I think the Diredogs are a little less dangerous than old Paige over there.
With that, it's gonna be Frog's turn. Frog is now very interested in Paige and Beth because there was a big explosion.
Great. Great.
Frog makes a flying leap at Paige. Paige, there is, like 50 plus pounds of giant dire dog flying at your face. What do you do to try to avoid being eaten?
So Paige is going to try and dodge. Try and dodge.
Okay. Roll tough.
I am figuring out that even though I do roll bad with physical dice and roll 20, physical dice probably is better.
In theory, it's equal chances, but you know how I feel about roll 20 rollers.
Yeah. That was not bad.
7. Okay. You got a 7. Beth, would you like to try and help Paige at all?
Oh, trying to think, because
The most
be
you
the
could
nice
do
thing
is
to
get
do,
a
but she
+2.
literally just tried to set me on fire.
Yeah.
Then again, I do want to be friendly with the crazy pyromaniac over here. So, with a groan, yeah, I suppose Beth is gonna go and help.
Okay. How would you like to assist? This can be while the dog is flying through the air. You've got like a second that you can act.
Is it possible? Okay, this may be a long shot, but I do also have that pistol. If I could like whip it out, shoot it, and, call it a day, that sort of thing. That'd be
Okay.
cool.
I will
Can I
let
try
you
that?
try. If you get a crit success, you will do exactly that. But I'm going to say that's you get a very short
Okay.
span here. That's really fast reaction. So I'm going to say you've got to get a 10 or a plus, or it just fails.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
You do
It's
have
all
a
about making
D4 that you can add to the roll.
Should I do it, guys?
Big.
Yeah.
Go big or go home? What does the
Go for
audience
it.
say? Is anyone commenting on this?
Oh, actually, make that a D6 because Gwen just cashed in some guild coins and upgraded that to a D6.
All right. For you, Gwen, I'll so it's gonna be 3d6, right?
3D6 plus
Cool. It has to be cool.
cool. Yeah.
Okay, 10 or better. Crossing fingers because I've been so bad at rolling.
Hey, there you go.
That's 12. Yes.
So you basically get a critical hit, insta kill on this thing. Do you want to describe how it is you do this?
All right. So from her holster, she's dropped she's forgone the sniper rifle for now. She takes that pistol from the holster, with an elegant twirl, aims it at the dire dog. Split second, fires it. There is a red mist coming from this dog as she hits the vital organs, and she flips it back around. Blows off the smoke as the dire dog lands, barely not landing on Paige, and back in the holster.
Perfect.
Like a badass.
So
I think so.
Paige, with your dodge roll, you manage to avoid most of that red mist. You still get a little bloody, but you see this giant, super heavy dog trying to eat your face. You try to dodge out of the way. And just as you do, there's no more dog. It's just a pile of gore and whatnot that's flying in your direction. But you manage to avoid most of it. You're still a little bloody, but it's
Better
not
than being
bad.
dead.
Yeah. With that, it's actually going to be Beth's turn.
Maybe I shouldn't have sheathed that pistol just yet. What's left? It's gonna be Snail, right?
Yeah, Snail is making their way towards Wesley, and you can see there are other dire dogs
All right,
behind
but not gonna
the
be
old.
as big.
Yeah, they're smaller.
Honestly, I think Wesley, like, I'm a little bit distant away from Wesley, and I honestly trust him. From what I've seen, he can clearly take care of himself. I think Beth's gonna start going after um, some of the other dire dogs, some of the smaller ones. Let the gentleman over there take care of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me. Are they in shooting range?
Yeah, with your sniper rifle, you can get some of the smaller ones.
All right, let's hopefully her sniper didn't get damaged in the fire and actually can manage this. So I'm just um the D2 again, right? So she's gonna try to fire. Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Yep, it. Looks like her sniper. I guess you're the GM, but looks like that's not gonna work this time around.
What's your tough?
It was a 1. My tough's a 1.
1. So you're at 5 total.
Yeah.
I didn't realize when I started this that I don't really ever roll. So I don't need my D6s and D4s. I will give you a D6 if you would like.
You know what? I think we'll hold off on like using up all those cards in this time. I mean, it's just
Okay.
aiming it. It's not a critical failure or anything, is it? With a 5?
Yes.
It is. It's gonna feel big,
Oh.
You get experience.
but you get experience.
Wow, that's like your parents saying like it builds character. When it rains when you. At least
But
you
in
get
this case,
experience.
it literally is gonna build character if you survive it.
What do you guys say? You guys are my team.
I mean, narratively, it's pretty great if this is the end of your sniper, but it does make things more difficult going on.
I care much more about narrative than anything else. Let's say, well, I'm hoping for it to be shrapnel from the Jeep that does my sniper in. That's how it ends.
Well, something kind of like that. In leaping off of the Jeep and all that, and the problems you had with forgetting to chamber around, and yeah, the combination of factors causes the gun to backfire.
All right.
So
how bad am I hurt?
You're gonna take. How much health does everybody have? Like, I'm trying to remember what constitutes being dead in this game.
So,
7.
You better not kill me off.
Being dead is 7 harm.
Okay. I was wanting to say it was somewhere around 6 or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, 7 harm, and 4 harm is considered dying.
Which this is great right after that really badass moment, and then my sniper rifle's becoming a shotgun at this point.
Yeah. Since you do have that fire shield, I'm gonna say that this can apply to that.
Okay.
So you avoid taking the 3 harm.
Okay.
But your shield shorts out since it's a single-use item.
Okay.
So you avoid the 3 harm. Your sniper rifle is gonna need repair before you can use it again.
Fair enough. All
right. Next, we're gonna move back on to Wesley. Snail is running towards you. You've pissed it off.
If Snail is approaching, if Snail's bounding up to me at this point, what I'm actually gonna do once it gets into range is I'm gonna take my shotgun, kind of flip it over, and just swing it like a club. And I'm gonna do my big whammy action and just put a little bit of extra magic force on the swing, so I can roll with weird instead.
Perfect. Go ahead and do that.
That's a 9.
9. Not bad. Okay. How much harm does your big whammy do?
I believe it is 2, close, obvious, ignore armor, all that stuff.
Okay. Since it's already damaged from your shot from before, you basically hit a home run with this dire dog. You kill it, and it just goes flying through the air with a splat on the side of the mountain. The old guy looks really, really upset now.
I'm just,
And just-
I guess if there's more just Diredogs coming out, I guess I'll start walking towards them and just be like,
Batter
I think there's leash laws in this neighborhood.
Yeah, there's 10 more that come
Jeez.
rushing out of these caves. These are smaller, for ease of communication. They have 2 health, so
They're the chihuahuas of the
kinda,
Calamity
yeah.
world.
Yeah, instead of like dire large dogs, they're dire chihuahuas.
I'm fairly certain we could just kick him to kill him
Yeah,
with 2 health. Just yeet. Oh,
But there
that one's
are-
dead.
there are 10 of them, and they do have very sharp teeth. So they're pouring out. With that, we're gonna move on to Merc. You've witnessed everything that's just happened, and then you hear just like what sounds like demonic yipping and yapping rushing from those caves as you turn and see 10 little dire chihuahuas running towards you and Wesley.
I'll go meet him.
All right.
I was gonna say, like, he is, he can turn into a dire dog. He could just change and become their new parent alpha, I guess. Run the
Yeah.
pack.
Yeah.
Run the
I
pack,
think that's
Merc.
I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Okay. I'm gonna say roll weird to see how well you can convince them that you're now
Their
ruler of
alpha.
the pack. Because
Oh,
that
I
is
love this.
definitely weird.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh
So that's a 6.
no. 6. Okay.
Just,
How is your weird? Ooh, that's
oh, it's your
awesome.
weird.
All the monstrous playbooks, all the stat options is +3 weird.
Those 3 weird.
Oh,
Does
that
he
is
get it?
very low roll. Is there
Does he
any
get
way?
any boost from those like heavy chains that he had around him before? Do they look like a badass dog collar? Anything like that?
Can we add an additional? Is it too late to add another roll in post? Like, can
You're,
Because I want this to work.
you can
Otherwise-
use, because I think I like this idea. I really, really like this idea. I'll let you use one of my d6s if you'd like to try to boost that.
Yeah, let's rock it.
I'm
Otherwise
gonna
they
give
think
you
he's
a
the-
bonus
oh,
die for
he's the-
creativity.
he's the beta
Come on, man,
chihuahua?
come
These
on, come
chihuahuas
on.
need to dominate him.
Yes.
Yes, okay, you succeed.
Beautiful.
So that's 12.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
these chihuahuas, these dire chihuahuas, start rushing towards Wesley and towards you, about half and half. And then suddenly they just stop in their tracks and turn, and you hear, the little yipping and yapping, but it's changed tone, and in this dog form, you can understand them, and they all think that you're their mother. And they are rushing over to you because they're hungry and they think you're their mother, who can feed them.
Mommy's
Oh,
home,
feed up with
kiddos.
what?
Oh
The
no,
other skags, dire dogs.
Yeah,
no, we're it's mealtime. We're running over to the old man.
Ah,
perfect.
I'll
Perfect.
and send them and then dart over in that direction and
Okay.
encourage
My
them to follow
children.
me.
Run.
They're following you in that direction. So let's see, we did Beth, Wesley, Merc. So Paige, it is your turn next.
Yeah,
Gwen,
Paige is going to.
what do you want to do?
I don't think I need to do anything.
Okay, you're just gonna sit and watch, basically.
Yeah.
That's
Paige
fair.
is feeling kind of like a fuck up.
I mean, if you're gonna mess something up, at least you did it spectacularly with fireworks.
Yeah, Paige is kind of trying to avoid that lately. Not
That's
working.
fair. The dice are just not with you on this game for some reason. Okay. In that case, it'll be the guy's turn. He sees what's happening, and this is one case where I think I actually am going to roll for a character, because it is two NPCs interacting with each other. He's going to try to convince these dogs to listen to him, since he's their master, or been their master.
So how does the switch work?
So the switch, you get to change the action word. So if you're wanting to use it right now, you could say convince them to do something else.
Yeah.
Or I think it'd be about the only way that would work in a sentence. So instead of convince them to listen to him, convince them to something else to him. And I would have to change listen to something else. That's not a synonym of listen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll use that.
Okay. So he's gonna try to convince them to abandon him, go into exile, have their freedom. He's trying to set them free. Let's see how the dogs react. Okay, so the dogs, this being their master, decide to listen to him. They are convinced. So they're no longer hostile towards you all. They believe they've been given their freedom, and are ready to follow their mother into the wild.
Oh no.
So they're basically no longer hostile to anyone at the moment.
Well,
Mark, when it comes
nice
around to your
man.
turn, you can try to change that again. But for the moment, they're not a danger to anyone.
Sure.
Well,
With that, it's going to go back to Beth's turn.
Well, while Diredogageddon is going on over there, I'm gonna have Beth. She's gonna still focus, eye on the prize. She's gonna try to kill the old man. He did try to kill us, so
Okay.
with the dire dogs not being an issue anymore, she's gonna go after him. How close is he?
I'd say he's at pretty darn far range for your pistol, but you could try to run forward, get closer, and then use your pistol.
Alright, I think actually thinking maybe the goal is, maybe I should focus on a takedown. I don't know. Either way, she's gonna run closer to him. How close does that get me?
Okay. You're close enough that you can comfortably use your pistol now. You're not too far away from Merc and the pack of Chihuahuas.
Okay. That's my turn though, is moving, right? Or
No, you can still try to shoot.
okay, I'm gonna specifically try to shoot for his kneecaps. He might have information that we need. Yeah, I'll try to shoot for kneecaps.
Okay. Go ahead and roll tough.
I am garbage at this.
Oh. Are you sure you're a professional and not an amateur?
Did you not see that awesome pistol movement from 5 minutes ago? Jeez, guys.
I think you might have leveled up though.
Yep, I certainly did.
Alright,
Because the sniper, I haven't marked the sniper, and I haven't.
Yeah, she's amazing.
A for
Okay.
effort, guys.
A for effort.
Hey, April.
True that.
How's it going? You do succeed in shooting him, but
no.
it has an unintended effect. You hit him in the head. He just falls over dead.
No! At least, I mean, no one else knew my plan. It's not like I shouted it out to the others, hey, I'm gonna just try to decapitate them. Just looks like a really nice assassination, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, roll charm. Roll for charm. Let's see how well you pull this off.
Charm is a -1.
That's why she's got the
Perfect.
license. Oh, your charm is.
Totally just tried to kill him. Totally didn't try to kill him, guys. This is not my department.
So yeah, you're all convinced that was entirely by accident. There's nothing cool or charming about it. It's sort of this like, oh crap, I was trying to hit him in the knee.
There's lots of screaming and cussing coming from Beth's direction. There is nothing cool about that.
Yeah, Beth is not keeping her cool about it. Okay, so that is going to be Wesley's turn next.
So the yappy chihuahuas are pacified, and
They are completely neutral now.
I guess I'll could go over to the old man whose head has been blown off and do the like check his pulse thing.
There's no pulse.
He didn't make it.
He's very dead. He's not just mostly dead. He's all dead.
No, Beth
All
giving
right.
him dagger eyes, like, seriously?
Merc, you now have 10 dire chihuahuas that are very attentive to you. What do you do?
I mean, I guess I'm their mother now.
It was nice knowing you, Merc. Good
I start eating the old man and hope that my children follow. I mean, I didn't pick motherhood. Motherhood picked me. It's a responsibility I wasn't ready for, but I had to accept.
Okay. Yeah, you're all full by the end. And then there's no more farmer. The house is still on fire, by the way. And I will point out this. Wesley, you were not able to see anything of value by looking through the side, but no one did go in to take a better look around. So you can try to rush in there, look around, or try to put the house out somehow, or just let it burn.
The old man
Entirely
did
up
have
to
a
you.
shotgun somewhere. He fired at us, so.
It's
There's that.
if you do go looking for the shotgun, you find the metal bits, but all the wood has been gnawed off by dire chihuahuas. It's not a very useful gun.
We did grab an extra shotgun last week if you need one.
Apparently it's more useful than my sniper rifle, so.
So
I mean, we can. If anybody wants beans, it looked like he had lots of beans. We could check the house, but
I think that would just make things more flammable with Paige around.
no.
Yeah, someone got my joke. It was garbage, but you got it.
It was literally a garbage fire.
Ah. Oh man. So you have a burning Jeep on the side of the road. You have a burning
Burning
house. You have 10 dire, very very happy dire chihuahuas following Merc around, who I assume is still in dog form.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have to be.
Do you stick around here? Do you try to investigate that mountain a little bit more? Do you investigate
I'm going
the
to
house?
investigate the burning shack.
Okay. Give me a sharp roll. So look inside the burning building.
Awesome. Oh, that's a 7 total. Yay!
7 total?
Actually, decent roll for once.
Nice. So yeah, you hop in the house and you look around, and you do notice there is a case of canned beans. It actually says multi-pack on there. You're not sure what multi-pack means for this, what types of beans are in these cans, but apparently there's different kinds of beans. There's about a dozen cans. They're all wrapped up. You could easily grab that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
There's what seems to be a refrigerator that clearly does not have power going to it. You can look inside of that if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. As you do, there are some wooden beams that are sort of falling around you. They're on fire, but you manage to not get hit by them. But clearly the house is on its way out. But you're able to open the refrigerator pretty quickly, and you see this sort of red glowing crystal inside
Mhm.
that you can
Oh, yay.
you can try to identify. Give me a weird roll.
A weird roll. Awesome. Guys, my dice are actually not cursed anymore. That's
Yay.
12.
Whoa, you know exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, you got that. You got that down, man.
So this is raw, unrefined. What are we gonna call this? That's
Scaridium.
Scaridium. That's close. I think we're gonna go with Luridium.
Luridium. It's glowing in
Um,
red.
That's a beautiful
Yeah.
name.
Not Iridium, not Lyrium, but Luridium. And
Still gonna have Scaridium stuck in my head now.
They're in him.
maybe that's like a slang term for it.
That's the slag version of it. Is Scaridium.
Scaridium. All right, so you find this hunk of Luridium, and you know what it is. It's something to do with these treasure vaults. It's what these space pirates use to do all the crazy things and the legends about them. And it's somehow tied to other spell users.
Yeah, it's what gave Paige their powers. So
Perfect. So it's very valuable, but the house is coming down around you. Do you try to rush out through the flames, or do you try to hide or protect yourself some way and wait for the house to burn down, or something else? What do you do?
Paige will grab the stuff and just walk out of the burning building
Okay.
because Paige is used to fire and
Just
has
give me.
enchanted clothing and the shields.
What kind of shield do you have?
Oh, it's -1 harm, and the enchanted clothing is -1 harm, so it's -2 harm.
Okay.
I think your
But the
shield was bullets, and I think mine was melee. Is that what we
bullets.
got from the
Yeah,
machine?
my shield is bullets.
Because the shields are type
Oh, yeah.
specific, so the shield won't help you, but your
Yeah.
clothing will. Just give me a quick tough roll just to see how well you kind of move out of here, because you have to step around
Through the
some
fire
burning.
and flames.
Yeah, you've got to step around some burning beams, and there's things falling. Yes,
Burning
Anna.
beans.
Yes, and
so-
burning beans, beams and beans.
So that's an 8
Okay, yeah,
because my
you're
top
totally
is
fine.
0.
Guys, this is just
Perfect.
Calamity's version of Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you make it out of the building, no problem, and you've got this hunk of Luridium.
And
Scaridium,
Scaridium,
Scaridium.
You'll see Paige just holding this Luridium going, "Hey,
Shiny!
I got this! Shiny! Yes!"
Okay.
Bad.
And
While she-
and beans. I've got beans too.
Okay, we clearly know what the more valuable one is, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Of course, it's the beans, right?
right. They're good for your heart.
All right.
Could I-
Now what do you do?
Could I check out the den that all the Diredogs came out of, and see if
I was interested
they
in
were
that as
guarding
well.
anything?
Sure.
I'll go with him if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Can we
I'll have you
tag team
both
this?
roll.
Yeah.
Both roll sharp to investigate the dire dog dens.
Okay, not a complete garbage roll. It's plus sharp. Okay, so
Yeah.
8.
8. Okay. And then
Oh damn. 10.
Leslie with a 10. Nice.
Okay, you can stop being better than me. It's fine. Anytime.
Well, it's like
So-
I'm expecting. I don't have anything in sharp. I thought that one would go badly.
You'll have
you
luck
both-
on your side, clearly.
You know what they say, better lucky than good, right? Between the two of you, you investigate the dens. They're mostly just, full of smelly dire dog stuff. But one of them in the center actually seems to not have a back to it, and it opens up into a cave, a tunnel, if you will, that looks like it might bear more investigating.
I mean, where did he get the Luridium in the first place? There has to be some sort of source.
Right, and it's
But was it
I mean-
refined or unrefined?
Oh, I was going to say
Unrefined.
Paige puts the stuff
Unrefined,
in
so-
the car, but the car is kind of
Yeah.
There is no more car.
exploded.
Can we load up the baby dire, the dire chihuahuas with like have them be our pack mules now?
I mean,
No,
I can't tell if that's approval or
Put them in their
disapproval.
pack. Just put them in their pack.
Yeah.
'Cause
They
Paige
each
does
get
have
little
a pack.
backpacks.
No.
so these dire
no.
chihuahuas could hold, maybe a pound or two. So if you want to distribute your belongings into 1 to 2
No.
pound
One of them
packs,
carries 1 pack of beans. One of them carries another pack of beans.
No.
One of them carries a third. I
Paige
can
doesn't
keep going. There's
trust
10 chihuahuas, right?
Paige doesn't trust them. Paige wants to carry the stuff in their pack.
yeah. So
Fair enough.
the short answer is yes, but it would be incredibly impractical to distribute your weight among 10 chihuahuas. So yeah, do you let the others know about this cave? Do you investigate it, or do you leave and go somewhere else?
I mean, I think we should check this out. It's in my
Yes.
mind, it's either this or we wait for me to get another vision about a truck we can steal. That is how we found the first one.
Fair enough.
I'm going to, through emotions and sense and I assume whatever dire dogs have instead of a butt sniffing, that I'm going to encourage the pups to go into the
Cave
backless hole. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Eight
So,
shields.
yeah, they're happy to do so. They're familiar with that den, so it's they're used to it. They all go in there. Everything seems fine. You don't hear yelping or anything like that. It's pretty quiet, actually.
Before they go, I want to really tussle around with them and really get their scent on me so I can change shape and maybe they'll remember me.
Okay.
Just get that good dire dog stank.
You
Okay,
smell
remind
like
me
a
to
wet
stand
dire
away
dog.
from him.
Yeah, you reek of wet dog basically, and you're able to change back.
It's an improvement.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming that you all go into this cave.
Is it also possible maybe improve the relationship, like just in the future, improve the relationships with the dire dogs? So just like going forward, we just have this pack, like maybe instead of just not neutral, like they become actively, defensive of us.
Yeah, we
Like-
give them some beans.
We become their new masters.
It's
We have
possible.
10 little gremlins with us
I
everywhere.
am their mother. This is not a master and slave relationship. These are my babies.
No! No!
Name one of their
I-
names. One of them.
Larold.
Meryl. I love it. I love it.
I don't know if they,
Okay.
They're precious to me, and I will die for them.
And that's
Meryl,
why you sent them in the
Trixie.
cave first. I get it.
Meryl, Trixie, Jinx, Trapsy, and
Oh, then of
Not
course you
even
have
10.
Frog Jr., Toad Jr., and Snail Jr.
so if they don't want beans, they're still probably full from the last person they were willing to die for.
And I mean, he was full of beans, so
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Assuming nobody stays behind, you're all
Alright,
able to go into this cave.
I get easily
Uh,
distracted.
it's
With the
kind of the
dog
game for that.
course. But
So you go in there and you find all 10 of these dire chihuahuas just sort of chilling in their own little spot. They've clearly dug out these little cool little indentions in the ground where they all sleep. It's obvious that this is their home. But there is a tunnel that goes deeper into the mountain.
Secret tunnel.
Yeah.
Secret
tunnel.
tunnel.
There do seem to be
secret tunnel.
some torches along the tunnel, and it leads ahead. There's only one direction you can go, and that's forward. It kind of curves around too, so you can't really see too far down the tunnel. Do you continue on?
I mean, we were looking for fortune. This may be our best bet to find it.
Yeah.
The expensive shit's gonna be down.
Yeah, I'm cool with this.
All right. So,
Unfortunately.
Do we anticipate? Are there torches leading the way, or should we be grabbing one?
there are torches lining the wall. So it
Okay.
like, every so often there's a torch, and they're actually lit.
Aw.
So
Paige
so
is
you
going
can
to light one.
you're going to light an already lit torch.
Was going to. They're
Oh,
already
was
lit.
going to. I gotcha. I was very
All
confused
right,
for a
so
moment.
there's no need to like
Disappointed.
grab the torch, you know, like
No.
an intrepid adventurer. Just okay,
If
we just
needed to
vibing.
grab
We
a
just
torch, I
vibing.
could always.
I mean, you can take
That's
one
a
for sure if
tiny
you want
fire.
to, but there do seem to be enough to
Uh-huh.
light your way.
Yeah, I'll wait and see if it gets dimmer, and then have Beth grab one.
Okay.
If only if it starts becoming further and further apart between torches, and there's less likelihood of having good light sources.
Sure.
As Paige is miming the starting a fire action, how
Yeah.
stable does this tunnel look that we're going into?
That is a really
Uh,
good point.
Pretty stable. It's it looks well constructed. It doesn't look like it's gonna cave in or anything like that.
Much more stable than Paige.
Merc, do you have
Make
the
that true.
dogs stay here or do they come with you?
Oh no, I don't want to. I thought about using his meat shields, and then I started to feel bad. Animal instincts kicked in. I'm just gonna like find a nice little a little depression in the rock, and I'll make the ultimate sacrifice, and I'll pour out what's left of my whiskey, and into that little stone, little thing in the ground, and say, "Don't worry, babies, Mom will be back."
There is
That's
a chance we'll be
amazing.
coming back this way, so
Okay. the
not too.
the dire chihuahuas are very content, and they just some of them lap up some of that, and but most of them just sort of curl up and go to sleep in their little indentions on the ground, and you're able to go down this tunnel. As you come around the curve, though, it opens up, and what you see is what we'll reveal after we take a quick break. So
Yay!
feel
I was
free
about
to
ask about that.
yeah, stretch your legs, go get a drink, use the restroom, whatever you need to do. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll find out what everybody sees
I will put you here.
on the
How
other
about
side
that?
of this tunnel.
No? No?
Trust me, I know how to handle.
hope everybody had a good chance to stretch your legs, drink some water, that sort of thing. We're going to jump right back in. So, as you all come around the corner of the little curve of the tunnel, it opens up into a much larger cavern. And you can see there's tunnels going off every which direction, sort of looks like the inside of an anthill, actually. There's little tunnels going every which way, and in the middle of it, there are some hunks of rock and piles of different colored crystals that looks like it might be where they're trying to mine out this Lyridium. You also notice to your left, as you step into this giant cavern, there's sort of a little desk set up. There's a desk. It's got some various knickknacks, paperweights, that sort of thing scattered across it, and a chair. Looks like it may have belonged to the old guy that you just, blew their head off.
All right. So first impressions. Having seen these sort of things before, I'm going to guess that he was in on a Lyridium mining deal. Some form. A lot of them will tie in with corporations. If they mine on their own, that's probably why he was raising the skags. I bet if we search this desk, we can find the paper trail and maybe see, and where there's a great deal of Lyridium. I may not be an expert on the wastelands, but I've been around with a lot of different corporations, and generally if you sniff out where corporations are working, you'll find a great deal of treasure and maybe even a potential for a vault.
That's very smart.
I've been around a long time.
Okay. Do any
So
of you search the desk?
I was about to say, let's have Beth go and search it.
Can I help since I used to work in a mine?
Sure.
That'll probably be ideal. I know how to go through corporate paperwork, but you may understand some of the particulars a lot better. I also say we should be, sometimes people, especially if they're being independent, may have a few traps up their sleeve to try to hide their trail. They're going to be crude at best, but they can still pose a threat.
Okay. Let me have you both roll sharp.
Okay, let's see what my garbage roll will be this time. Oh, wasn't garbage. Plus sharp?
Yeah.
And 9.
That's
9. Okay.
I
I
don't
was
suck
not a
this
very
time.
good miner.
You still have a bit of skag brain. It's the mother. What's it called? Mommy brain.
Yeah.
Got mommy brain going on there.
Yeah.
I'm worried about
Yeah.
my babies.
So we'll start with Beth. You find it's basically like the equivalent of a tape recorder.
An echo.
Yeah.
Wait, can we say that?
I don't know, but it's kind of like an echo. It's like a tape recorder, but it's digital.
Yeah.
You do look at it, and it says it's got the Barks logo on it, so it's basically a Diredog with a spiked collar.
Look, here's a NecoCast, everyone.
NecoCast. So you do find that as you're inspecting that, Merc, you become pretty convinced that there must be hidden panels underneath some of these drawers.
No.
And in the span of like 15 seconds, you've managed to basically disassemble this desk. So it's lying in pieces all over the ground.
I said there might be hidden traps, not whatever the hell that was.
Hey, on the bright side, ain't no traps.
And I guess we know there's nothing in there. No?
Yeah. Gotta be thorough. That's you never know where these minor types are gonna hide their stuff. They're weird little prospectors. You never know where they're gonna stash something.
There may have been other things in the desk, but it is just a pile of rubble now, and you're unable to decipher anything else.
Thank you, Merc.
You're
While
welcome.
Beth and Merc were checking the desk, could I try and? I guess let me know if you think this would apply, but I've got the sight ability,
Okay.
which is I can see invisible things, especially spirits and magical influences. So I don't know. I think what I would try and do is kind of feel along the wall where they've got like some Liridium sticking out of, and see if this kind of like vision that flashes over gives me a sense of like a trail of Liridium we could follow, maybe to like a big cache of it, or if I could get a sense of, I guess, how much of it's here or something like that.
Okay, sure.
Mechanically, it just kind of gives me more opportunities to investigate a mystery, but I guess that's like flavor-wise, I would be trying to like follow it to a stash of Liridium.
Sure. Does it have you roll like weird for that or something?
It doesn't say. It just says I have more opportunities to spot clues when investigating a mystery. So I guess I can investigate a mystery.
Okay. I guess just roll sharp then. And I'll give you the opportunity to find something else via that route.
Okay.
5.
There we go. There's the failure rolls.
And it doesn't matter, right?
And it's these desks. They're built real tricky, like.
Oh yeah, Merc.
Is this desk just sapping people's intelligence?
I wonder
You
if
try-
it's almost like I see veins of this in the wall, and I'm kind of like tracing it, but it's almost like a freaking maze on like a placemat, and I'm just like getting lost and getting stuck in dead ends and can't find anything.
Pretty much like
We'll be
that.
right back.
No worries. It's pretty much like that. You kind of get overwhelmed. And I'm going to say that you take 1 harm. You have a bad headache because just sensory overload in your brain from tracing all these different tiny little veins of Liridium.
Okay.
So everybody else probably sees you kind of go, whoa, and you've got a headache.
My maternal instincts kick in, and I say, Paige, come on, why don't y'all? He's having a hard time. Why don't y'all offer him some beans?
Mm-hmm.
Sure that'd help him. He just needs a full belly.
What did I miss? I come back in here like, just needs a full belly. All right, I'm going to walk away now.
So Wesley took a harm from getting flooded with too much information from these Liridium veins.
Paige will see Wesley having a hard time and roll to use magic to heal him.
Okay.
Because that's a move that I can do.
Oh,
All right.
So
Don't
that's
fail.
Weird.
Okay.
Oh no.
So that's a 10.
Hey, there you go.
And so heal is minus 1 harm minus 1 harm from an injury, or cure a disease, or neutralize a poison.
Perfect. So you get that harm point back.
I think I see you coming at me. I'm just like, no, I don't need beans. I don't need beans.
No.
Okay,
everybody,
that helped.
Look! Don't argue with your mother. Don't argue with your mother. All you need is some beans. I am so sorry. I do not know why I think I am your mother.
I also don't know where that accent came from.
I'm just.
Paige is like, this should make you feel a lot better.
With motherhood, your body goes through some changes, and I'm.
Your accent's one of them?
Yeah. Apparently, sometimes the small town comes out.
Yeah.
All right.
So Beth, you still have this this recorder.
Just gonna wait till other shenanigans are done, like holding the recorder away is, watching Merc dismantle that frickin' desk. Like, I don't want to start anything while I'm near him. But now that he seems to have been sated, let's pop this bad boy open. Let's take a look at this. Let's
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's play the tape.
there's a few different entries. Do you go for the oldest one or the newest one?
Let's start at the oldest one first. Let's find out this like chronological order. What's going on here?
All right. So you go to the oldest one, and you hear the click of the recorder, and you
Of
hear
the Neko?
yeah, you hear somebody on the other end going, Dear Diary, today I made the most unusual discovery. I found what I think is a vein of Liridium ore.
Sciridium. Sciridium.
I'm not
ore.
sure how
Alright.
far this goes, but I think it could be very valuable. The corporations don't know about it, and I think I found a buyer. We'll record more later. Click.
All right. Next one after that.
So you hit play, and there's a click. Dear Diary, have confirmed that this is a very large vein of Liridium.
Sciridium.
I've been mining it myself, and I found a whole den of Diredogs, which have taken to me for reasons unknown.
The beans.
Have decided to raise them to protect the mine.
Mark, looks like you got something in common with this guy.
There's another click.
Well, yeah, I mean, other than the fact that on the inside we're both pretty similar, since I did eat some of them. Yeah,
You are what you eat, right?
I think that's where the accent came from. I think that's got to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you play the next one?
Next Neko.
Dear Diary, today I had to chase off a bunch of bandits. Seems they came in through one of these other tunnels.
Oh no.
I don't
There's
know.
more.
I don't know why, but they seem to be trying to eat the stuff. I don't know why you would try to eat this stuff. I would think it would hurt your teeth. I heard one of them say they thought it was rock candy. No idea what the effects of eating this stuff is, but it can't be good. I'm deploying Diredogs throughout the mine to try to prevent this.
Oh no.
We'll see what happens. Click.
Oh no. All right. So from here on in with the tunnels, we want to make sure our weapons are set and we are ready for whatever may happen. All right, next one. Shoot,
So the next one.
shoot. Sorry, I will be right back. I'm so sorry. I left the stove on.
No problem.
Well, everybody's just paged today. Just everybody playing with fire.
The next one plays, and you hear him going, Dear Diary, today I did a stupid.
That was very, very bad of me. I am so sorry.
It's all
Dear
right.
Diary, today
I was like,
did a
it's smelling
stupid-
really, really interesting in here. Oh, it's smoke. Yay!
So what you heard, or what you missed rather, was everybody hearing, Dear Diary, today I did a stupid.
Good timing. Good timing. It's me.
I got really curious about what that bandit said about rock candy, and I tried it too. It hurt my teeth real bad. I should probably see a doctor, but I'm gonna wait and see how it goes. We'll
That sounds
record
like
more
someone
later.
without insurance.
Click.
Right.
I'm sure that has nothing to do with his altered speech pattern when we met him.
Of course not.
If he tried to eat some of the Liridium, is there a chance if Merc ate some? Might be in Merc's system. That might be something to.
I mean, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I did get my powers when I was stuck in a mine like this. So, you know, maybe it's just a threshold. Might not affect me anymore.
You've worked up a tolerance.
Yeah. Wait, are we talking about for other stuff or for Liridium?
You're talking about Liridium?
Oh, both.
Oh.
Okay. So, you kind of know what happened to the old prospector guy. You can see where this is leading down to where the little mining hits are and these other tunnels. What do you all do with this information?
Yeah. What do we do?
Well,
I
regardless of what we do,
think
weapons
just
need
keep
to be
going.
out and ready. We were told pretty clearly that there were more skags in these tunnels, so.
Skags and more raiders
Diredogs,
too,
yeah.
right? Or
Yeah, so we're gonna have risk
Diredogs.
of bandits as well.
Yep. He definitely mentioned bandits and that he sent Diredogs into the tunnels to try to scare the bandits off.
Well, the
I
dogs
made
are here,
decisions for today,
and
so it's someone else's turn.
let's just go down. What's the worst that could happen?
Let's go
All right,
down.
weapons. Yeah.
Famous last words. Okay. Assuming you all head down, in orderly fashion, it's an easy walk down to the bottom of this sort of shallow pit. There's big lumps of oddly different, like odd colored, different colored crystals, and a bit of rock. Whatever it is, it's obviously not just straight Liridium. So you're able to tell pretty quickly that it looks like, they probably have to pick away at this stuff that they don't need to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
But you do see little bits of red here and there that would indicate that it's got at least some Liridium in it. You could probably process this ore and get little bits out.
I believe the big chunk of Liridium in my backpack is as good as we're going to get in this cave.
Yeah, I mean that definitely is pure stuff. Your best guess, based on what the recorder said, is that you just have to keep mining away at this stuff until you find the whole crystals.
It's not worth it for us today, at least. We can come back with more.
Look,
if you wanted to get some, you'd have to actually mine it. Yeah.
I don't. This is this is called a job. I don't do jobs.
That sounds like work.
I don't do jobs.
Yeah.
Why?
That's what I was going to
Why
say.
work hard for it when we can just, kill other people that may have it? I mean, we came here to find our fortunes. Doesn't look like this old man was earning his by mining, so I would discourage that course of action.
Do we think there's any chance the other folks he mentioned making their way in here maybe have a different stash they've already mined?
It's
If we
entirely
follow
We can
possible.
go ask politely.
Yeah. I'd say asking politely, yes. gets a fireball in their hand.
Yeah. I think you learned from.
Right on cue for that, as soon as the fireball pops up, Merc is going to pull out one of his smokes and just lean over.
And Paige will light it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Perfect.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You do notice there is one tunnel that looks a little bit larger than the others that heads roughly the same direction that the tunnel you came from is heading. So we'll call that north. There's other tunnels that go east and west, but there is one that continues on north that looks a little bit bigger than the others.
Do we go down the biggest one, or the road less traveled, or do we
No, let's not. Let's
Go down the-
go down the.
Big
I
one?
got an idea, and I'm
If
gonna
you say split up? I will
I'm
end
gonna
you.
do my wiggly bits and go back to a dire dog and try to sniff out and see if I smell any bandits, any human that is not the human that I ate earlier.
Okay.
So you get a +1 to your roll
I
when
do.
you're. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and roll. I believe that would be sharp to see if you can track this down.
Nice. So that will be sharp +1 because I have a 0. 7.
7.
Yes.
All right.
There's
Thank you, dog shit.
a lot of different smells coming from the big tunnel. You can't tell if specifically they're different humans. Excuse me. But you definitely smell a human scent mixed among a bunch of other ones coming from that big tunnel. There's definitely more than just one person or one thing that's gone down that tunnel not too long ago.
And it kind of sounds like he's about to sneeze and then goes into a big shake and comes back. And it's like, ugh. Every
Okay.
time that's uncomfortable. Every time. That's, ooh, all the tinglies. That way. People. Yeah. That's where the party is.
Yes. Then let's go.
Let's make some more friends. Cocks a shotgun.
All right.
I like
Y'all are-
making friends.
Y'all are
I love
really
making
aggressive.
friends.
Can I take a moment to try to at least do a little bit of repair on my sniper? Maybe if I can get it into working order, or
You can certainly try.
we'll see.
Let's call that also sharp.
Okay. I
Yes,
can't see
the
my own roll.
experience.
Why did it disappear?
So it's a 4.
All right. I busted it worse. Yay!
Yeah. So you took it apart and tried to put it back together again. Cleaning the parts and whatnot. But somehow you ended up with like 5 extra parts after you put it all back together, and you're not
no.
quite sure where they go.
Pieces of the desk wound up worked in there.
Maybe. The good news is you still have all the parts, but you're not quite sure what you did wrong.
All right, this will be a project for another time. At least I still have my pistol.
I'm just going to give her my pistol too and kind of hand it over that I got from the bandits and go,
Can I
range
dual
isn't
wield?
really my
Sure.
style. Here you go.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Nice.
I like to be able to
Got
kiss
a
them on the cheek.
Nisha. Got a lawbringer vibe going on here.
All right. Yeah, and unless there's a specific mechanic for it for the professional, let's say it adds, we'll say plus, what does the pistol do normally, like 2 harm?
I have no idea.
Yeah, pistols normally do between 1 and 2 harm.
Because
Okay.
I actually made this character in mind. Like, I was thinking of a Nisha ability, but like with a kind of Athena vibe. So I meant to talk to you earlier about the possibility of dual wielding, but this
Okay.
just makes it easier, right?
Let's say if you attack with both, it'll be a -1 to your tough roll. because you're having to aim with 2 guns, and it'll do 3 harm instead of 2. So you trade off a minus to your attack for a bonus to your damage.
All right. Speaking of which, I can't draw dogs, but motherhood, it's not for everyone. Can you even see that? Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
I tried to draw dogs. They look
I can't see the
like tribbles. Leave me alone. But yeah, motherhood, it's not for everyone.
Love it.
It's amazing.
That's fantastic.
There you go.
Okay. So I'm assuming after you try to repair your sniper rifle and end up with some extra parts, you all head down the larger tunnel.
Yeah.
As you do, it starts to smell really bad. Like worse than Merc.
That's hard.
It doesn't smell like wet dog. It smells like sweat and body odor and rotten
Human.
food. Do you take pause and do anything here, or do you just keep walking? You don't see anything right off the bat.
Weapons are at the ready. I don't see any other way to prepare.
Okay.
Just
as you keep
not
walking.
like I can use my sniper. I'm not gonna let Beth take a rest. She's not gonna. This is just gonna end up frustrating her if she keeps trying to work on it. So.
All right. As you continue, you start to hear more noises the further down this tunnel you go, and it sounds like humans talking. It's too far away to make out, and it's kind of echoing down the tunnel. But you also notice that the torches have stopped on the side of the tunnels, and it's kind of dark ahead.
Time to grab a torch. If I'm gonna be dual wielding weapons, who wants to?
Can Paige make enough fire so everybody can see very well?
Sure. Give me you roll weird for your magic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a weird roll.
I didn't think Paige's problem so far has been making enough fire.
So that's a 10.
Okay, yeah.
It's certainly bright.
How bright do you want this tunnel to be? Anywhere from a candlelit dinner type fire to
romantic
spotlight type light.
This is the police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's your scale. Where do you want it?
More along the line of candlelit dinner.
Okay.
Romantic.
Okay. So it is still somewhat dim.
So we got the candlelight. We have beans for food. All we need is a nice wine, and boom, we are set for date night.
Oh man, I used all my whiskey on the
I know.
kids.
I was gonna say. Too bad Merc had to spill it. Pour one out for the boys.
Motherhood. They need it.
I mean, I did specifically say last episode that Paige bought a bottle of wine.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
I'm frankly shocked that we haven't found a stash of moonshine yet.
He's not wrong.
Well, you have a torch. You have Paige lighting the rest of the way. As you head down the tunnel, the voices start to get louder, and you can start to make out what they're saying. They're clearly bandits, and it's one guy talking to another, and he goes, "I'm telling you, I heard the old prospector chatting it up in that tunnel again." And the other one goes, "Nah, he wouldn't be back in that tunnel. Not after the beating we gave him. I'm pretty sure it was him. I'm telling you, we should go check it out. I bet he's uncovered more stuff that we could take."
Scoridium. I'm gonna keep being the worst about that, just so you know.
You were dedicated to staying on that hill.
Dedicated to the cause. It's a weird hill to die on, but at least I'm dying.
Wait, what?
Yes.
So they're bickering back and forth.
All right. Is there any way to sneak up? Can we see them, like, visually?
No, they are around a bend in the tunnel, but you can hear them.
I'm wondering. I totally want to sneak up behind one and slit their throat. What? Who said
Um,
that?
Huh. Can I?
So one of the things that use magic lets you do is you can create a portal to a specific person or type of creature. So
Okay.
can Paige create a portal behind the bandits?
Does this require you to have line of sight or to have actually seen this person before?
Yes, this does require line of sight.
Okay.
You said, sir, Raven, you said that they're just around a corner? Like,
They
kind
are.
of.
It kind of it's like a
Around
curve.
The river bend.
Well, if it's. I'll take out my. Do we want quiet or do we want. You said cut. Or do you want cut or shotgun?
Yeah.
What do you prefer?
I think we don't know how many bandits
We're
are going to
going
be
to
in
be
the
quiet.
future. I think it'd be more. Sorry. I think it'd be more. Shoot. Never mind. I don't have the word
Stealth.
for it. I think it'd be more beneficial,
Advantageous?
quietly see if we can take down some, and then, if more comes, if need to go guns blazing. But once you go guns blazing, you can't go back to sneak, is basically what I'm
Mhm.
saying. So if we can get a couple of easy, quick kills, let's
I can
do
get.
it.
I can get behind one of them and knife them if y'all are ready to come around the corner and get the other.
Yeah.
My character, also one of her stuff is she has a really nice big knife, so we can tag team it. One of us is
Yeah.
gonna fail. It's probably gonna be me, but at least we tried, right?
And I can just create a portal behind them, and we can
Oh, it's.
ambush them.
It depends upon
I'm-
how. Yeah, I think we
Okay.
can
I'm
just
good.
turn the corner. Yeah,
Oh no, it's. I mean, you turn the corner. I can get behind them. No need for a portal.
yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
All right.
Alright.
Let's.
Uh,
Let's
Because
have.
it's.
Paige turns to Beth and says, "Do you need my sword?"
I got a big knife, so I am good
This is
to
a
go.
really
Okay
good
then,
sword.
Paige, or not Paige, I'm sorry, Wesley and Beth. Let me have you both roll cool to see how
Let's-
cool and sneaky you are.
If I can,
Dun,
what I'd like to
dun,
do is,
dun, dun, dun.
when I leveled up, I
Alright.
chose take a
Darn
move
it!
from another playbook, and I
Wait,
took
it's +2.
I took the monstrous move incorporeal, so I can go through the walls of this cliff and just walk out behind them.
Nice. Okay. Do you have to roll anything for that?
It doesn't say so. It just says you may move freely through solid objects, but not people.
Okay. I'm gonna let you do that then, and then so that was a 7 on your cool for Beth.
For me-
Is that right?
For me, yeah, so 5 + 2 is 7. And I'm just turning around from the corner, so I'll let him sneak up behind, but we'll kind of, not the coolest, but hopefully that gets the job done, right?
Yeah. You
I just flash like ghostly pale and just walk through the wall.
perfect.
I was that badass.
So Wesley, you go straight through the wall. You get right behind whoever it is, whichever one you want to get behind. There's a big one and then there's a small one. Do you get behind the big one or the small one?
I'll do the big one if I'm getting the drop on him.
Okay, so you get behind the big one, no problem. Beth, you're able to sneak behind the small one. You're successful, but you kind of look like Kronk in the Emperor's New Groove, as he's sort of exaggeratedly trying to be stealthy and sneaky. You're silent,
Paige.
but it looks really dorky.
Okay,
Hey,
at
you
least
just-
only Wesley can see it, right? Right?
Mhm. Paige is peeking
No,
around the corner.
I'm definitely.
Yeah, the whole group sees you.
I get a few badass moments and then I get some really big, at least I'm getting the job done. Mercenary work
Yeah.
isn't about being glamorous, it's about getting the job done. So
Yeah. Oh, and you missed this explanation. I did explain last session. So normally with Monster of the Week, a 7, 8, or 9 is a partial success. So it's like he's a succeed, but something still doesn't quite go off the way you wanted it to. With there being so many rolls for this that I'm anticipating a 7, 8, or 9, you succeed, but you don't look like a badass while you're doing it. So a 10 plus is you get to do it in a badass way. So with a 7, yeah, you sneak right up behind the little guy, but you look really dorky as you're doing it. You're both behind your respective targets. They don't suspect a thing.
Okay. And 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you
Mine
both
is less
roll-
cool, but
Both roll tough to see how effective your strike is.
dang it.
And I will let you do so with advantage because you have snuck up behind them.
Okay.
Oh, once they
Ow, shoot.
All right,
You
roll
have
again.
advantage.
Roll again. Oh, is advantage let you roll again?
Yeah, you roll twice and
You
take the
roll
higher
twice,
result.
take the highest.
Hey, there you go.
I got an 8.
So what's your 8? Okay,
I got an 11.
perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, Wesley's way cooler than me.
So with an 8, you quickly dispatch the little guy. I'm assuming you go for the throat with the knife.
Duh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you do, he just kind of goes, "Ah, my throat!" And with an 11, Wesley, how exactly do you go about dispatching this big guy?
It's since Beth is like a professional and I'm trying to like look impressive, I try and do it with just not a whole lot of show, but I use one of those nasty sawtooth blades that we picked up off the bandits last week and just try and go straight across the throat.
Oh, yeah. Blood goes everywhere. It's like something out of a Kill Bill movie. But it's pretty silent other than the sound of blood spurting everywhere.
And the sound of the other guy screaming, of course. 'cause-
Mhm.
Yeah. It's quite enough that nobody else hears it, but it is sort of that like, ah, my throat. Oh.
How familiar are you guys with the Borderlands series?
I love it.
Okay.
Familiar.
I'm thinking right now. I'm picturing that scene from Tales from the Borderlands. So the off-brand title
Yes!
with Reese and Sasha. Sasha sneaks up behind, like snaps his neck so easily, and then depending upon your dialogue choices with Reese, like either way he looks super lame. But either he like shock sticks the guy, or like he's like just trying to choke him to death as the bandit's just like, it's okay, take your time, we've got this. Like, yeah, he does not got this, you know. I'm picturing that same thing, you know. I get the job done, but it looks really bad, and you know, I'm picturing that little like moment with Sasha, like Wesley as Sasha, and with Beth as Reese here. You know, like
That's
you know,
funny.
thumbs up, looking badass. And then the other one.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm just
Both
gonna
accomplish what
casually
you-
walk around the corner.
Perfect. So you see,
going.
you see a little bandit, little small guy, who's still twitching with his throat cut, and then you see this big thug-looking guy on the ground with blood still like squirting from his neck, and there's this giant pool of blood.
Little guy's still twitching.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! I'm going to go walk up and go, "Hey, little buddy. Hey, little buddy. I'm just gonna take a little something. You don't need it. It's mine. You don't need it where you're going." And I'm going to just kind of dig my fingers into the wound and use my life drain on him because I still have one on.
Oh. Okay.
Fair enough.
That works.
That's like totally meant to do that. This is fine.
I appreciate you leaving me that one. I've
Scraps,
been
leaving you the scraps. Yeah.
a little
Mhm.
hungry. Hope that wasn't
Gotcha,
too
I gotcha. Visceral.
off-putting.
I'm just gonna throw up in the corner, but it's fine. I've seen worse.
Mhm.
You literally
Paige
just
has
saw
the
me
same
eat an old
reaction.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paige is right next to her. Doing the
You
same
say
thing.
Paige, and like especially with the description of your character, like you know, a redhead with goggles. Like I keep hearing Gage, and I'm like, yeah, Necromancer for the win.
So
Sorry,
as
this is the
you're,
only reason
that was
Ray
the
wanted me
inspiration
on
for
is because
Paige.
I'm literally a border lore nerd. Like,
Yeah. That
That's
was
not
the
only
inspiration for
reason.
Paige.
Totally the only reason. It's not like we're friends or anything.
Oh.
Well, as you two are losing your lunch,
Uh-huh.
you start to look around and you notice this is very clearly a bandit den, and there's definitely more than 2 bandits that live here. Would any of you like to roll sharp to get a better look around?
Yeah.
I actually,
Love to.
I might have an ability
Sure.
tied with this.
Ooh,
Never mind.
that's an 11. That's an 11.
Okay.
I would like to get one more experience, but I'm happy to
I
not.
do have, as a heads up, I do have battlefield awareness, which gives me the ability. I always know what's happening around you and what to watch out for. So,
Okay, then you'll automatically get this.
okay.
Let's start with the lowest roll. Merc.
You
with
still
a
want me to roll
2.
just to know where my place is?
No, you're good. You'll
Okay.
automatically get the auto success level, basically. With a 2, I'm gonna roll to see just how bad this is.
You
It's
say
pretty
2
bad.
like it's a bad number. 2 is the foundation of so many other numbers.
That is literally the lowest you could have possibly gotten.
I think
unless
you
you,
got
like-
you got a 1 earlier. I think.
No,
That's
that
true.
was you, and it was a 0.
Oh, was that me?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Unless it's
Um,
on a charm check, I can't get anything lower than, like, because I have the -1 on charm, and that's it.
oh.
Well, what happens as you look around? Oh my gosh.
Gosh.
So,
Merc has to ride for 5 minutes.
Oh.
yep. we got the Buster
Buster
Rhyme
rhyme.
was redeemed. So Zan, yeah, you've got to rhyme everything you say for the next 5 minutes. I'm starting a timer.
And 0.
So you get up to look around, and you step into that giant pool of blood, and it's like stepping on slippery ice, and you just fall on your butt in this puddle of blood.
Oh, it's blood. This ain't mud. Oh, crud.
That was amazing.
I'm in pain.
Wesley with an 8, you look around, and you start to notice that it's still kind of dark in here. You're not able to make out everything off in the corner, but you hear snoring, and you hear more than one person snoring. Paige, as you look around, you also hear the snoring, and you realize that there's a lot of bunk beds on the far end of this room, and they're very full of bandits.
Uh-huh. Can I set the bunk beds on fire?
I was actually
Possibly
going to
in a
suggest,
moment.
like, do we have a big explosion to do?
So, Beth, you notice all of this, and you notice that everybody's asleep, and you also notice, so most of the bunk beds are sort of in the far back left side. On the far back right side, it looks like there's like a cage or a pen or something that's currently closed, and it's definitely bigger than like a dog size. It looks like it's human sized.
Use that fire, make a pyre.
I was going to say, how close is that cage to the bunk beds?
Probably 5 yards away.
So if we were to make a big explosion, whatever's in the cage might die.
It'd have to be a big enough explosion that it would hurt all of you as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the plan. I kind of pull Paige to the side, and do we have and Wesley, I guess. Like, what equipment do you guys have? Do we have alcohol? Gasoline.
I have rags, and
I was gonna say, maybe it's time for a Molotov.
yeah, but this is a bottle of wine. I don't want to waste the wine.
What do
It's
you
also
have,
not
Wesley?
flammable enough.
I do not have anything flammable. I've got a knife. I've got another knife.
I mean,
And
And a bigger
shotgun.
knife.
Yes.
I have literal flame. That I can shoot. out of my
What
hands.
spells do you have, Paige?
So, fire, more fire. Oh yeah,
Do you
I can
have
also.
big ass fire?
Yes, that would be use magic, and that would be do something beyond human limitations. But I can do that. It would just
Okay.
be.
Here's the tentative plan. What if you send a big ass fireball to blow up all the bandits at once? Because, like, it may take some time. I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to sneak and
Mhm.
slit all their throats. Wesley can't guarantee that. Any movement, we've already made a lot of movement already, and noise. Anything could wake them up. Let's just kill them all at once. I mean, they're very clearly bandits. They do not look like good people. Just try to avoid the cage because I want to figure out what's inside of there. That could be someone they captured. It could be one of Merc's skag baby potential. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So Paige gets slightly closer, but not too close,
right.
and is going to use a giant fireball.
They took my baby. That's not a maybe. Use that ball. It's going wall to wall.
That's double sixes,
I love it.
everyone. That's a 14.
Laugh in half.
Nice.
That's a 14 total.
Yes, fireball. You're gonna look badass while doing it. You're gonna get a wolf whistle from Beth for that one. I can't whistle.
Go ahead
Beth
and
can. Let's pretend Beth can whistle. What?
Paige, go ahead and describe what happens with this fireball.
So Paige creates a fireball in one hand and then a fireball in the other, and about this far apart, and then eventually the fire meets in the middle, and then Paige just pushes it forward, and it goes on the bunk beds and kind of just conflagrates everywhere. But it doesn't spread past the bunk beds. It shapes itself onto the bunk beds, and just
How much screaming do we hear?
everyone on fire.
Okay, perfect.
Raven, you can probably tell us best. How much screaming is there?
Oh, there's going to be screaming. How much harm does this do to anyone that it hits?
It's 3 harm because of blast and fire, but do something beyond human limitations is actually another harm.
Okay, so
that is
4.
4 total.
Okay.
Is there any bonus for like a super crit though as well?
Yes. When you get a 10 plus, you can do an extra effect on magic, which is inflict terrible harm, which is another 1 harm. Ignore armor, magic, and obvious.
Okay.
Toasted and
Perfect.
roasted.
So
yes.
4.
So yeah, this
4
fireball-
total.
Boom time.
Explodes. Yes.
Yes.
This fireball explodes, and you get it just in the right spot to envelop 90% of these bunk beds.
Only 90?
And you hear it's a decently sized room. So you hear screaming, and much like the other one that you set on fire, you hear him going, "Ah! Why do I smell good?" And you hear another one going, "I'm hungry now."
Delicious.
Yeah, things like that. You hear going off. You've taken out the majority of the room. And there's, let's say, 4 that you missed because just the sheer number of bunk beds that there are and how they're spaced out. There's 4 bandits that hop out, and they're very confused. You all see all 4 of them. Let's start with Merc. You've now been able to pull yourself out of the pool of blood. You were
Mom,
covered in it.
Mom,
Oh.
ringing in my ears. Time to strike some fears.
It also says on a 12 plus, the keeper can offer you an added benefit as well.
I think the added benefit is going to be taking out like a dozen bandits in one go. So Merc, also, it's been 5 minutes, so you don't have to rhyme anymore.
Oh goodness, thank you. That was tough.
He only had to do like 3 rhymes. Come on.
Oh, that was it. That was at least 5.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
It was
I
great.
applaud you.
You see this fireball go off, you hear the screaming, and you see the 4 other bandits hopping up and, in a stupor.
Yep.
They're getting ready
Okay.
to attack whatever it is that just set them on fire.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm gonna run towards the bunk beds with my sword out and go, "Howdy, neighbors!" And
Yeah. Paige is going to pull their sword out too.
Okay.
I got my dual pistols, baby.
is this one bunk bed, or is this like 4 beds stacked, or 2 sets?
There's like 2 bunk beds next to each other. So
Okay.
there's 4 total bandits that have hopped up out of this.
Okay, so they're out of the beds.
They're out of the beds.
Okay, cool. Well, then I'll just take a big double hand swing across then.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Not beautiful,
tough.
but hopefully effective.
So 5
It's all right.
plus
It's a
anything.
7.
7. Okay.
Got a 2
Um, So yeah, you start running towards one of them, and because your shoes are still soaked in blood, you start to slip a little bit. So it's kind of like when you see somebody almost biff it on the ice, but they catch themselves at the last second. It looks kind of silly, but you still manage to keep your balance and kind of use that sliding momentum with your swing to hit the bandit. How much harm does your blade do?
It does 3 harm. It's a
3.
big.
Okay. So that bandit is looking very, very unhealthy, very bloody, and just sort of screams out, "Why do my insides feel cold?"
My insides are on my outsides.
With that, we'll pop over to Wesley. You have seen everything that's going on. What is your reaction? What do you do?
Do we hear anything new coming from the cage with the explosion? Or do we hear any movement there?
Yeah, there's some shuffling around of something that sounds very large.
Alpha
You
Scout.
hear a deep guttural muttering sound. I wouldn't necessarily call that language, but it's something making noises.
Okay, I'm gonna put a pin in that and not mess with that right now. I'm gonna see. I think Merc's move was on purpose, the slide. So I'm gonna kind of stomp a little bit in the blood and try to risky business slide behind him and just shoot another one of the bandits with my shotgun.
All right, roll tough. I love it.
I love it. Yeah.
9.
9.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you managed to do that. You have the same thing where it's like you lose your balance for a second, your feet are sliding around every which way, but you catch your balance again and slide by and blast I'm assuming the one next to the one that he sliced, or are you targeting the same one?
Let's do that. The one,
Okay.
the one next door.
And it does how much harm?
Smooth criminal.
3 and whatever messy means.
Okay. So 3 harm. It's very loud. The guy is just got little blood oozing holes all over his chest.
He's Stromboli.
Kinda. He's still standing,
Oh.
but he looks.
Stan Bully.
His chest kind of looks like hamburger.
Sexy.
Would you say he's a little more holy than righteous?
Oh. Yeah, kind
Oh,
of.
Someone just needs to kick him a few feet back onto the grill.
Oh my god.
Oh.
yeah.
That'd be
Speaking of
nice.
grill,
Beth, your turn.
All right, let's do this. I got my dual pistols. And let's roll it, see how it does. I'll do one that's been should I do
There's
an
2 that haven't been
unharmed
hit yet.
I'll try for the ones that haven't been hit. Probably not the best idea, but eh. All right. 9.
Could be.
And we're taking away 1 tough, so it'll just be a 9.
A 9? Okay. That's
Because
still
it's the
a
dual
pretty,
pistol.
Yeah, it's still a
right?
pretty decent success. So you're doing 3 harm, right?
So I don't look completely badass, but I also don't make an idiot of myself. Yeah. 3
Yeah,
harm.
you the recoil of using the 2 pistols kind of knocks your hands back a little bit, so you don't look like all cool and calm and collected. It's a little bit off balance, but both shots land and hit their mark.
Looks marginally badass. Marginally.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like super badass, but it still looks pretty cool. And yeah, the
Paige
guy
is
takes
impressed.
both bullets right in the chest. He also is looking much the worse for wear. Paige, it is your turn.
I'm going to go up to the one that hasn't been harmed
Okay.
and do a fire blast.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, yes.
What could go wrong?
So that is a 9 plus 2, which would be 11. That's 3 harm.
Thank you for
well,
the
actually,
50
because
bits.
I did a 10 plus, I can make it 4 harm. I just found that out.
Okay, so you turn him into a human torch, and not in the superhero way, and he falls over in a heap of ash and charcoal and smoke. Thanks so much for that cheer, April. Have a good night. It is now the bandits' turns. The one with, now a blade in their chest, just kind of stares at Merc incredulously. And
Got a neighbor.
and tries to pull the blade out of your hand. Basically just kind of accepting that this is now part of them, and tries to get it out of your hand so they can run away. Roll tough.
I'm trying to picture a bandit running around like with a giant freaking cleaver through him.
Right.
I know.
Roll tough to see how well you grip onto this thing.
Righto. Well then.
So your cleaver gets
slick.
sort of wrenched from your hands.
Blood slick.
Hey, that is not hospitable. That is not, we
is
share
not
around
neighborly.
here. You know what? We do share around here. That's fine. You've earned that. You deserve it. I'll get it back. I'll get it back.
Perfect. And so he starts running towards the cage, going, pull it out, take it out, it hurts! It's cold!
Oh, that's what
And
she
he's just
said.
like trying to pull this cleaver out of his chest. Yelling at anyone within earshot. The guy that got like the shotgun
Here,
full
I'll do it
blast
for
in the
ya.
chest. Kind of decides to do something similar. He just tries to give you a bloody hug, Wesley, to try to sort of trap your shotgun barrel to the side so that you can't shoot him again. Roll tough to see if you can avoid this bear hug or kind of get out of it.
That's another 9.
9. So, yeah, he gets the hug part, so you're kind of smeared with blood and guts, but you're able to shove him away. So you can shoot him again when it's your turn.
So it looks like the equivalent of someone who just had a really bad date, but the other one thought it was good, so they went for the hug, and the person was just like,
Oh.
no,
It's like, no, thank you.
oh, no.
No, just Christian side hug.
Oh gosh. Yeah. The one that got shot with the pistols.
I
Kinda
did finger
pauses
guns wrong,
for a second.
okay?
Kind of pauses for a second, and then bolts towards the cage. Let's see. They try to hit a button, but they trip over their own feet and face plant in front of the button and kind of aren't able to get to it. Which means with that, we're gonna go back to Merc. You've had your giant cleaver pulled out of your hand, and this bandit's running around trying to get anyone to pull the cleaver out of its chest.
Hey, that's mine. That is mine. That's mine.
I'll take care of that for you.
I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need you. Come here. I'm gonna need you to give me that back. And I am going to, after seeing how unsuccessfully that tried to persuade him, I'm going to reach my hand out and stop just short of his throat, and kind of a light purple glow comes from my fingers, and I'll close them in front of his neck and try to pull some life essence out.
Okay. Roll weird, I think, for that one.
I think is that. I mean, I'm super cool to roll weird because that's better than my tough. But it's one of my monstrous natural attacks.
Oh, okay. Whatever the playbook says then.
Okay, so I'll go kick some ass then. All right, that's a 10.
Okay. Yeah, you're pretty much successful. You kind of have to concentrate a little bit, and so you've got like your tongue sticking out the side of your mouth and you're squinting, so it looks a little goofy. But you accomplish it, and they fall over dead.
As they fall over, can I just grab the handle of my blade and just kind of jiggle them a little bit to get it out?
I'll say you can do that on your next turn.
Okay.
So we'll go to Wesley.
I think like as I'm struggling out of this hug, I'm just like, no, thank you, no, and then I'd give like one big shove at the end, and I'll use my my weird kick some ass, the big whammy, and just see if I can. It was a joke before, but let's see if I can just shove him into the fire.
Into the fire that Paige created.
Yeah.
The burning corpse.
Or it's. I mean, he may not survive to make it there, but that's. I'm trying to like punch him in that direction.
Yeah, go for it.
That's a 7.
Yeah, you kind of have to like get messy a little bit with it, because so like you get the blood and guts all over your hands, and it's really gross and cringy. But you manage to shove him into the fire, and he becomes grilled hamburger instead of just raw hamburger, and it's really 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 gross.
Oddly enough,
I got them all over me.
Yeah.
got a taste for the lone pig.
No.
Beth, it's your
All
turn.
right, I'm going to go just because the guy seems pretty damaged. I'm gonna go with just single pistol to try to get a bit of a better hit on this, but I'm gonna go for this guy, see if I can try to stop him single pistol. Because I think that's gonna be important to make sure he cannot do whatever it is that he is doing.
All right.
Ouch. Wait. Plus 1 for tough. Okay, it's gonna look bad, but it gets the job done, right?
Yeah.
So
like a- Sorry.
you try to get a quick shot off, and you just kind of wing him. So he's still alive, but he's still face planted and everything. So you're able to walk over and just sort of like to make sure he's actually dead.
Die!
It's not a clean kill, but it gets the job done.
After that, Paddock's screeching like, and I'm a professional.
Roman just did the wow
Yes,
sound
you
effect.
are.
Gwen, for Paige, all of the remaining bandits seem to have been dispatched. You're up next. Do you do anything, or do we just go into normal explore mode again?
Paige vomits.
Again?
Again.
All right.
You shouldn't have anything left in there, hun.
Man, y'all have weak stomachs. I just don't understand the problem here. I thought we were in the business of having fun. This is fun.
Did you eat some of the beans? Is that the problem?
I think so.
That's it.
Mm.
All right. The room kind of smells. Well, it doesn't
Crispy.
smell
Nice.
great. It smells like cooking humans.
Death. It smells like death. Let's not sugarcoat it.
Smells like my college dorm room.
To quote Robot Chicken, it smells like feet wrapped in leathery burnt bacon.
Eh. That works.
I think it's an apt description of how this room smells at the moment. What do you do?
I pull my sword from the corpse.
Okay, you succeed.
I'm gonna roll if it's possible. I kind of want to see, without getting too close or tripping anything, but I kind of want to see what is in the cage.
I do
Okay.
too.
Roll sharp.
Shark.
Baby shark. Do.
No.
7.
Seven.
Minus
Sorry.
5 for singing that song. I'm kidding. So 7, and then what does Paige get?
So reroll. That's an 11.
An 11. Okay.
Wow,
we'll-
these dice really like me right now.
We'll start with Beth. So you kind of squint to see because it's really dark in the cage, and you get kind of close to the bars. And as you do, you get startled because whatever's in there slams a hand against the bars.
It's a hand.
So you get a quick glimpse of this thing, and what kind of goes through your mind is Purple Hulk. That
What was
timing by the
that?
dog. That's the neighbor's dog.
Oh, I was like, okay, do okay.
Okay. That was interesting timing. So Paige, as this happens, you're able to get a better look at it because it's now up against the bars. And it was probably once a person. And probably 3 times the muscular bulk and twice as tall as they used to be. So they're probably like 11 feet tall, something like that. Really, really big. And they have like a red tint to their skin and purple veins just like bulging out of their arms and legs and face. And their eyes are kind of glowing red. They do not look friendly.
Ooh. This
Sounds like one of the
looks
what is it?
like Liridium infused.
How
Someone
many of
ate
you
the
guys
rock
have
candy.
played Borderlands 3?
I have
Haven't
not.
played
I've
it
played
yet.
Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2, and that's it.
Okay, next
Yeah,
time you
I've
come
played-
up, or if I get the time to come down, I'm gonna have you play. But there's anointed characters that just have basically what you're describing happens to them, and it'll happen to random bandits that have been anointed with iridium powers. So
Hmm.
kind of
Um,
similar. Sorry.
You're fine.
I'm a
So
nerd.
Can I investigate
For a
around and find some hooch?
you can certainly try. Roll
Sorry,
sharp.
did you say cooch?
Hooch.
Can I help with this? Can I roll to assist with this important mission?
Yes, I want to roll to
Yes.
assist as well.
Sure.
Is that cool that you roll, or what is that?
Sharp
you're
to,
helping.
to investigate. To help. Cool. Yes.
That's an 8.
That's a +1, a +2. So Merc, go ahead or was the 5 you roll?
Yep.
And what is your sharp to add to that?
It is a big old Z.
Okay.
So that's a 7.
So
Total.
it's 8 total, with both helping.
Oh.
Raven,
You're
I'm
making
asking
me
important
miss out on a
questions.
level up.
Oh, to answer Rowan's question, I do not have a Twitch.
Request for the no sound clip from The Office. I will add it to the list of things
No,
that I've been
God,
requested for the
no.
sound effects.
No, 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 no.
God.
I mean, if there's any cooch in here
Aw.
too, I mean that's fine. But I was
Sisterly
necessary
love.
cooch.
Okay. Yes, you find some. Let's see, how many bottles? The three of you find a bottle each of rot gut, and it's just like, it's not pure alcohol, but it's
Distillery.
pretty darn close.
Nice.
It tastes like gasoline, but it will get you drunk.
So we find 2.5 bottles.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
half of that is going as soon as I find it.
how much blew up with that fireball?
None.
Too much.
Yeah.
None, because the fire
really
did not
no way
spread.
no way to tell. Okay.
Rest
so
in peace.
this big dude, he's getting pretty ornery. He's starting to shake the cage and hit it with his fist, and he's looking really angry and agitated.
How damaged does the cage look? Like, how
So-
likely is he to break out?
It
And
looks like
I
it's
roll.
okay for the moment, but it's starting to break away some of the rock around the frame of it.
All right.
Can I
I don't-
roll use magic to heal a disease? Cure a disease?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Had to ask.
I'm gonna say he looks too far gone. I doubt there's any human left in him. The best thing we can do is put him out of his misery and keep ourselves safe.
Fireball.
That
Okay.
is not a okay.
No, wait. That might break the cage, though. Wait. Hold on.
No,
Oh.
stop.
Page.
Don't.
Well,
That is
I'm mid gulp of my rot gut.
that's a 10 total. So the fire does not spread, and that's
Okay.
three harm.
It seems unfazed.
Oh
No, stop.
shit!
Well,
just made it
now that we're
angrier.
experimenting, I'm going to try, like, get as close without getting, like, damaged, but aim a pistol at this thing, fire it. Do I have to
Okay.
roll for it
Yeah, roll tough.
if I'm doing point blank? All right.
Yes. 7. Yep.
I mean, firing at unarmed, individuals never looks cool. Got an 8.
Yeah. It hits, and again, it looks kind of unfazed. You just kind of
So-
make it angrier.
Oh,
There's
geez.
another thing on use magic: trap a specific monster or person. So can I do that?
You can certainly try.
Yes. Oh shit! So that's double ones.
Fantastic.
And you
I level
released
up.
him. Congratulations.
I leveled up. Yay!
So, with your use magic, is there a list of things that happens again, or is it just it fails horribly?
Use magic, glitches. The effect is weakened. The effect is short duration. You take -1 harm, ignore armor. The magic draws immediate unwelcome attention, or it has a problematic side effect. I'm guessing you're going for the last one.
Yes. I'm trying to remember with Monster of the Week. I know glitches can happen on a partial success, but on a full-on failure, does it still glitch, or is it just a big, huge fail?
On a 7 to 9, it works imperfectly. You choose a glitch, but it says nothing about a complete failure. So I'm guessing you get 2 glitches.
Okay. Just curious how the rule book says that works.
The rulebook does
So-
not say anything about complete failure.
So with a total botch, you were trying to trap this thing. Is that?
Yeah. So
How exactly were you trying to trap it with magic?
so Paige just focuses their magic and tries to create a barrier, and probably it has a red aura, the barrier, and it just explodes, I'm guessing.
Okay. So you try to make a barrier to keep this thing in, but unfortunately you
Run.
Let it out.
well-timed run sound effect, Rowan.
Yeah.
I need
yeah.
to hear Rowan sound effects.
Yeah.
It's
Cause
there's
You'd have to
different
unmute the Twitch.
there's different commands that you can do in
fun.
Twitch, which are right there for subscribers and
Yeah,
non-subscribers.
you'd have to unmute the Twitch, which means you'd have to
There
have
would be an echo.
an
So-
echo. Yeah.
You try to contain it. What you end up doing is sort of containing the cage itself, which removes it from the area. So the bars that this thing is just slamming against suddenly disappear in a puff of red smoke.
and I am close. Ah,
Yeah,
shit.
it's very, very angry, and it takes one foot and just stomps just outside of the cage area, and that's where we're going to end our session.
Ah!
So
All the dramatic tension.
yes. So
heads up.
next week. Yes.
Oh, I may have work. I'm trying to get out of it, but I will do the best I can. But I'm gonna. That would be a really bad time to get out, but I need to try to get someone to cover my shift to do this next week. As a heads up.
Okay.
Mhm.
No problem.
So yeah.
So
Yeah.
next week we'll find out what happens, and I promise if you're not able to
mysteriously
make it next
dies.
week, I promise you won't die if you can't make it next week.
I love that so much.
Bad things may happen, but you won't die. But that was fantastic. We'll find out exactly what happens next week. Yeah, we're going to go on a raid here in just a bit. So if you have any ideas for the raid call, feel free to throw that in chat. Rowan, you had one earlier that was fantastic, but I can't remember it. So if you want to throw that in chat again, that would be great. And we're going to do some outros here. So we'll start with reverse order. Zan, what was your favorite part of today's session, and where can we find you next?
Oh man, my favorite part of the session was probably the unexpected blessing of motherhood. So it was really something I did not see this particular session going in, and I feel like it led to some real character development in Merc. And you can catch me next, maybe on here, probably next week. Or you can always find me at Insanity TTRPG on Twitter, or insanitygaming.com, or Patreon Insanity Gaming. Also, for my Patreon right now, I have a special offer going until halfway through next month, where any new and upgrading patrons will get a free class option or race for 5th edition D&D, or playbook for Monster of the Week made based on their inspiration. So
Cool.
let me help you and make some cool stuff together.
I may actually take you up on that, because I've got a Monster of the Week thing that I kind of want to do. So I'll look into that. Feel free to throw any links to that stuff that you'd like into chat, so people can just click on it. You're more than welcome to do so. With that, we'll pass it on to Gwen. What was your favorite part, and where can we find you next?
Favorite part? Oh, that's tough. That is very tough. Because I loved I loved the motherhood part, and I also loved, yeah, when they were both when they're both teleported back. I mean, when they both went behind the things, and it was the scene from Tales from the Borderlands. I'm like, I was perfectly envisioning that in my brain.
That was pretty great. Perfect. And we can find you next. I know on here
Saturday.
on Friday, because we've got or no, not Friday. I'm sorry. You're right. Saturday.
Yeah, we're skipping this Friday.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that this Friday is the 17th, and that's Magic pre-release. So yeah, Saturday. You are correct. Perfect. And that's for Legends of the Badlands. Same time,
Yes.
7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh gosh, that's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, and then we'll pass it on to last of the order. What was your favorite part, and where can we find you next online, or any projects you're working on that you want to share?
So I gotta say that my favorite part, I had the favorite part that my character did had to have been the whipping out the pistol and saving Paige's life. That's the favorite thing that my character did. I'd have to say the favorite thing kind of overall with the party. I loved the fireball, just consuming, like, somehow avoiding that entire encounter just by engulfing every bandit in flames. It was kind of a brilliant moment. Um, as for me, what I'm doing, you can find me at Last of the Order on Twitter. I have shenanigans on there. Then I guess the biggest thing I'm working on right now, as kind of an outro, there is a Borderlands Zine coming out called Me, Myself, and I, and it focuses on the relationship between Handsome Jack and his doppelganger. So if that's something that interests you, when that Zine comes out, all proceeds go to help LGBTQ kids. So that could be something really interesting in the future. As that more information comes out with that, I will be sure to post that. But yeah.
Cool. Awesome. And then last but not least, Patrick, what was your favorite part, and where can we find you next?
Hi. I think my favorite part was just the whole truck sequence in the beginning. I don't know how many times we had a chance for the car to work, and we just wind up getting a Merc sled instead out of it.
Mush.
And I'm also very excited to see when Wesley's rolls on Roll20 start averaging back out down to where they should be, because he's looking way too competent for how he should. He's not supposed to look this confident.
Yeah.
But it's you
I
can
believe
catch
my
me.
dice rolls with physical dice do average out.
You can catch me here next Tuesday for this game. You can catch me, I want to say next Wednesday on Tales from the Grim, where they premiere their Blades in the Dark Watchmen community miniseries, I think starting next week. And then other thing that I did that you could check out is I published an adventure on DM's Guild. It's called Little Ship of Horrors, and it's a crashed spaceship and aliens like GIF, like the hippo people with guns, and a singing plant that wants to be your friend and definitely not eat you. So
that's fantastic. I still have to check that out. It sounds amazing.
That reminds me of that Grim Adventures of Bill and Mandy with the brain.
Yeah.
Brains.
The episode that was sung so expertisely by the one and only Voltaire.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, he also did
yeah.
the Land of the Dead one.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I have to brag just for a second. I did make out with Voltaire in Little Rock, Arkansas one time. And it
Oh my
was
gosh,
the highlight
seriously?
of my life.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh!
It was amazing.
Guess you could say he's
Wow.
bisexual.
It was actually the
what's one of
release
his
of
albums?
Bisexual. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Back in 2014.
All right. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Raven, what about you? What was your favorite part?
I was gonna say my favorite part, probably it's definitely the whole accidentally adopting 10 dire chihuahuas. But aside from that, that particular moment, it was blowing up the Jeep, because it was just like the perfect fail on the roll, and it resulted in some really cool stuff happening. Like, Beth leaping off the Jeep, the really cool, crit kill, and all that jazz. It was just a really cool moment where a bad roll resulted in some really cool stuff happening. So I rather enjoyed that. As for where you can find me next, I will be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern for the Black Feather Tavern, where we're just going to hang out and chat. It's literally set up like a tavern for the stream, so you can come by, talk about yourself, about your day, say what's bothering you this week or what you're particularly excited about this week, whatever you want to talk about. Usually goes for about an hour or two, and we just hang out and chat and gives everybody a chance to sort of socialize a little bit. And then tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, will be the next episode of the Tickfall Files, where I will be reprising my role as Dr. Tilda Jenkins. And it is also Thank you. It's also a Monster of the Week game. So that's where you can find me next. We do have some other stuff going on this week. I did mention Friday we will not have a stream because it is the Magic the Gathering pre-release for the next set. I'll be doing some stuff like that IRL. But over the next few Fridays, we've got some really cool stuff going on. Friday the 24th will be episode 1 of our sort of season 1.5 of The Peasant Strike Back, GM'd by the very talented Joshua Barbeau. We always laugh our butts off. Highly recommend coming by and checking that out. On the 31st, I will be running a game called, tentatively called Trans is Magic, where all the characters will be transgender or non-binary, and it's about a magical school specifically for transgender and non-binary folks. It should be pretty fun, and it's a little bit of a middle finger to somebody who said some very unkind things about transgender people, who maybe also has a story about magic schools. Nobody in particular. Other than that, we do have some other spots open. If you want to DM a game, if you want to play in a game, every Friday is our community one-shots. So we've got spots open on the 7th and February. The 21st of February, I'll be doing a Deep Ocean survival game. And then I think every Friday after that is currently open. So if you do want to run a game on the channel, or if you want to play in one, just let me know. Shoot me a DM on Twitter, and I will get you into a game. And I think that's about it for covering all the stuff coming up and everything that's new. No, I'm sorry. There's one more thing. I just updated Patreon today. So with the channel kind of finding its footing and me doing a lot of new stuff, I'm just typing in the address here. I changed the different perks for the different tiers that you can use to support to be more reflective of what we're actually doing. So there's some new stuff in there that's really cool. There's a new tier called Tavern Regular, where you can actually get a guest spot on the Black Feather Tavern or a guaranteed spot in a one-shot each month. It's just some really cool stuff to kind of get people more participation if you're a regular supporter of the show, so you can feel a little bit more involved in the community that way, and a way for me to give back. There's also an option for official sponsors. So if you do want to sponsor the channel, you like what we do here and you would like to advertise with us and support us through that, there's an option there for that. It has details on what you get for it, the amount per month, and all that jazz. So it's all on Patreon. That is a little bit new, so something to announce there. With that, we are going to go on a raid. So we're going to go raid our good friends over at Nerdsmith. So we'll do the raid cry of That's Not How Backseat Driving Works. I like it. Or The Unexpected Blessing of Motherhood. Either one. They're both fantastic raid cries. I think I'm going to go with That's Not How Backseat Driving Works because that was really funny. Everybody was trying to help out with the whole driving thing. But I love both of them. Either one, feel free to throw that into chat as we go on our raid, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.